What up? And happy friggin' Saturday. Darewolf here for Darewolf Gaming. And joining me today are three of my friends who we're gonna bumble our way through some Wrath and Glory. I usually run MechWarrior Destiny during this time slot, but one of our players is currently at PAX for MechWarrior Destiny. And not for it specifically, but he's dressed as a MechWarrior, so I'm basically saying it's for MechWarrior Destiny. But we decided in the interim to try out a new system that I have never run before, and my experience with it is a 16 and a half minute learn to play video that Steve here sent to me. So I have no idea what I'm doing as the game master, but I'm going to try to help weave an interesting and fun story. And Steve and Strom are going to help me understand the rules. And together, hopefully, we'll learn a little bit about MechWarrior Destiny. Not MechWarrior Destiny. This is Wrath and Glory. Crap, I'm doing terrible. I'm off to a terrible start. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let my friends here introduce themselves and their characters, and then we are just gonna dive right into Arcanum Tempest. Tempestus? That's how you say that, Tempestus. And then we're gonna see what happens. So, Umbral, why don't you take the reins here?
All right. Uh, my name is Ben. Discord is Umbral Dagger, and I am going to be playing the Sister of Battle, Octavia.
That's
I
fantastic.
have no other information on the internet because I am an introvert amongst introverts.
And yet, here you are in all your glory, which is Wrath and Glory, which is perfect. It plays right into the system. And speaking of the system, and the guy who knows it better than anybody, Steve, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Steve, and I will be playing Inquisitor Helena Ashur.
Glorious. Bold, straight to the point, no fluff, just as an Inquisitor would. And I can't say anything other than I appreciate you and your future Inquisitor that you'll be playing here shortly. Last, certainly not least, we have Strom. Fill us in, my dude.
I am Strom. You can find me at Strom Plays on Twitch and on YouTube. And I'll be playing the Aldari Harlequin, the performer, which should be quite interesting in current company.
I feel like nothing bad will happen and there'll be no internal conflict whatsoever. And I'm excited to see that unfold. And I am, of course, as mentioned, Darewolf, the game master. I will also be NPCing a fourth member of the party, a Salamander's Terminator, by the name of Cheyenne Cronia, the second. And that will be my contribution to their hopeful success as we proceed into this story. So we open our scene with a exterior shot of a massive derelict ship. This ship is on the scale of a planet. It is so massive that your small little battle barge that you've been crew members of on board looks like a fly, like a tiny little gnat against its magnitude. Now, your vessel, the battle barge you've been aboard, you've been hunting down and engaging several chaos ships, chaos forces, and finally, you have cornered those chaos ships and engaged them in a horrific, bloody, and destructive ship to ship combat. Now, the good news is you've managed to destroy the chaos forces. Their ships are exploding or floating in space as derelicts themselves. But unfortunately, with the last few shots of the massive cannons of this battle barge, your ship was also damaged beyond repair and began to plummet towards this derelict space hulk. Now, with some quick thinking and even quicker feet, you managed to make your way to a small Valkyrie, a little ship, a transport ship. Now, as you exited the hangar bay of your battle barge, there was a massive explosion as the ship's reactor went critical. Try as you may, your Valkyrie was damaged beyond repair as well, and you, through the last bits of power that remained in this ship, managed to guide it into an open hangar bay of this derelict space hulk. Now, the space hulk in question is aptly named, as is the name of this adventure, the Arcanum Tempestus. And we open our scene with the four of you stepping foot out of this crash landed Valkyrie and onto a platform. The platform of this derelict space hulk, this small little landing bay. What was interesting is as you landed, though the derelict ship, this massive space hulk, appeared to be without power, as soon as your ship slid scraping across the floor of this bay, red emergency lights came to life, and the docking bay doors behind you slammed shut. What few instruments remained on the Valkyrie gave you the information that there was breathable air outside for those of you not wearing, space armor or with some sort of breathing apparatus. So if need be, you would be able to breathe outside of it. And as the scraping sounds and the beeping and blaring alarms of your Valkyrie finally die out, we see, we see a couple of folks standing just outside of this Valkyrie. And I'd like you all to take a moment just to describe your characters. Let's start with Octavia.
So Octavia, unfortunately, does not have her hair free at the moment, and it is bound up in her armor and everything else. She's about 6'3" and just looks like she's been through it. You wouldn't know it, but her right arm is augmented after being lost in an accident which also damaged her respiratory system, which has also been augmented.
Okay. Okay.
She has a weapon on her back, holstered, and her chainsword in her hand at the ready as always.
Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Standing next to her is a massive armored, it looks like a walking tank. Those of the Imperium, and even those that are not of the Imperium in our small little group here, would recognize this as a Salamander Terminator. On the Terminator's right arm is this wicked and massive looking heavy flamer, and at the end of it you see a tiny little just bit of fire that would ignite the fluids inside that give the flamer its destructive power. In his right hand he carries a bolt pistol, a two-chambered chain type gun, and he is looking around. The red eyes of his armor are glowing, and you can hear the instruments scanning around, and he just thump thump thump, and he's the first one to take a few steps forward and start to really just survey where you have landed. Now, behind him, we have two other characters. Steve, why don't you go first, and then we'll hear from Strom as well, the performer.
Helena Ashur is an inquisitor, pretty high ranking. She is about 160 years old and has had significant rejuvenant treatments, a number of implants, subdermal armor, an augmetic arm. She has black hair and steely blue eyes, but her hair and her head is currently covered with a cowl, and her hoods of a robe. She wears inquisitorial power armor and sports a thunder hammer.
Ooh, is it crackling with energy at this point, or is it currently deactivated?
It's currently dull.
Currently dull. I like it. I like it. And I suppose the most, I hesitate to say out of place looking character that we have here, but likely the most vibrant, I would say, unique perhaps, but I don't want to steal your thunderstorm. Please.
So the performer, the Harlequin, lively walks down the ramp. A very gaudy jacket, bright colors, domino patterns, with a reflective chrome death mask. That's just a leering face with a long curved nose. And he walks down the gang ramp and says, our Phoenix has landed.
In response to the Harlequin speaking, the Terminator turns, and you hear the churning of the armor, the gears and mechanisms inside. You will be silent, performer. You are here by our grace, and our grace alone.
Helena will simply put the top of her put her hand on the top of the heavy flaming barrel and just sort of slightly lower it a little bit, or at least attempt to.
You could see it
And-
starting to charge up, like in
Yeah.
anger. You know, purge the heretic, kill the Xenos.
She simply says, to eschew the aid of the Xenos species when offered is simply to accept the fate of the galaxy as it was 10,000 years ago. Come, we must purge this place with holy flame.
As you
Let the
command,
dragon lead.
Inquisitor, as you command.
The dragon speaks. Let its flame guide us.
And stepping forward away, the Terminator with these heavy footfalls. Terminators are not fast per se. I mean, they can move quickly, but they are literal walking tanks. So you see that, and you can hear this just clung, clung, clung on the metal floor. Now, to describe the room that you find yourselves in, it's a hangar that was designed for a ship of the Valkyrie size. The fact that you were able to guide it into this small hole as the engines were failing and the systems were all going haywire was a miracle in itself, and glory be to the Emperor. But as you begin to do a scan, the floodlights on the Terminator's armor are ignited, and he starts to do a scan around. You are greeted with rusted, old, ancient-looking bulkheads. You see symbols of the Imperium, similar to the image that we see behind Steve on his camera. But you were also greeted with the signs of fresh blood on the doorway that leads up or north from our perspective of the map. The Terminator pauses, the lights flooding over this blood, and there's a kind of a crimson glow. Foul heresy is afoot.
Helena will approach, but stay very much behind the Terminator and just ask, what do your heightened senses detect?
Movement. Below and to the north. Now, Steve, since you are the master of this system, my D&D Pathfinder inside me is like, roll a perception check. But what's the equivalent here in the Wrath and Glory system? Since I am really, this is a learn to play Darewolf, so help me out.
Probably most likely would be awareness.
Awareness check. So
Yep.
I'm going to ask everyone to go ahead and make an awareness check for us here. Now, I would set a DC to how many successes you need to get to succeed in this check, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm setting a DC in my mind. Boop, it's done.
Yeah.
And that's just we actually just press the roll, right? In the specific awareness.
Yeah,
Yes.
the blue dice on the sheet.
They're blue?
Yeah, vaguely.
Okay. Like,
They're
oh,
black. It's
Christ.
okay.
I'm colorblind. Did it roll? I have no idea.
All right, so let's see. We've got
Blue.
Helena's, we've got the performer, and then if I remember, Steve, the way we set this up is
You need to
so
check
4 plus is a success,
Inline dice.
correct? And then a 6 is 2 successes, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So we're looking at, I believe you both have. So we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 successes from the performer, and then I believe we have 4 successes from Helena, and then we're
I have
just
6.
You have 6?
Because the wrath die still counts as a
Excellent.
success.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay, so you have a success there. And then
So-
Octavia, we're looking for your roll as well.
You need to use inline dice
Mhm.
Okay.
on your character sheet before the rolls start working.
Got it.
There we go.
Oh, perfect. And then we have 3 successes. So, the performer from somewhere, and it's hard to really determine where because inside the bowels of this massive derelict ancient ship, this space hulk as they are referred to, sound echoes in strange and unpredictable ways, but you can hear what sounds like the scraping of something metallic or something just very solid against metal. It is a scraping sound, as though you took a wrench and just scraped it along the side of a rusted bulkhead, and you can hear that, and it sounds like it's coming from, if you had to guess, below the group at this point.
We must venture into the underworld.
Simultaneously, as the performer says that, Helena, with your check, you noticed unlike the scraping, you noticed a clunking sound, as though someone had taken a massive wrench and was banging on a bulkhead. And it's very it's the same tempo, just tunk, 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 and it's coming from this doorway right here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and reveal to you all where the doorways exist in this section. So you should see 3 doorways that have emerged on your screen with regards to where these doorways are. And the sound, which again sounds like someone taking this just tunk, tunk, tunk on the backside of that door.
Helena will walk towards the door and tell the Space Marine to ready your flamer.
Battle Sister, prepare your heavy bolter.
She reaches over with her right arm, just unholsters the thing, just massive gun.
Big shooter. It's a big shooter. I love it. And
she'll move forward.
As she moves forward and you position yourselves as such, performer, where are you positioning yourself?
It is this door.
Correct. Yep, the center of the 3 doors. Correct.
And then the performer will go right on the side.
As the tink continues, and Helena, you positioned yourself next to the door, I assume with the intent of opening this doorway. Is that correct?
Well, now that the Xenos is stood there, I'm going to tell them to open the door.
Oh, really?
And the performer will give a flourishing bow, and will reach over to the console and key in the open rune.
And as you begin to open the door, you hear the Space Marine say, "Without the dark, there can be no light. We have purpose." And you see the heavy flamer begin to ignite. And as you go to, there's a tiny little control panel, and it's just a simple, literally it says open and close. And the close is currently red. And you can assume if you push the open button, it's just going to or open in some way. As your finger hovers a mere centimeter over it, there is a horrific and horrible scraping sound. It emanates from behind you. It emanates from behind Helena and Octavia. It emanates from just below you. A massive tear inside of the floor of this chamber in which you find yourself, this docking bay, opens up. And in the blink of an eye, you see the Terminator plummet through a massive tear that's been opened up inside. As you watch the Terminator fall, from below, you hear the sounds of his heavy flamer engage and the screeching of some sort of Xenos terror. There is flashes of bolter fire. There is a plume of flame that emanates up, and you hear the Terminator roaring in rage and combat. A second later, everything goes silent. What do you guys do?
Carefully, like you said, like it's right in front of Octavia, right?
Correct.
Carefully leaning, just craning her neck forward, looking down.
As you look down, You see, for a moment, nothing. And then, as though appearing out of the darkness and coming from nowhere, you see one massive claw, and then another, and then a third and a fourth, and wrenching its way up and through the hole in the ground, you see a terror that, to put it lightly, is not something that even the mightiest of heroes, the mightiest of the Imperium, would not at least have some pause from. You see a Hive Tyrant. And we're going to roll initiative for combat.
I have no idea what that looks like. I'm going to need an image.
It looks like this, baby. Skadal.
Fun!
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
And
They're only like 16 or so feet tall. It's
and
fine.
on the
Only.
edge of one of its claws, gripping it, you see the helmet of the Terminator and a small drip of blood coming down from where the neck would be. The creature roars, and we're going to drop into some combat. Let's get weird. All right.
Oh, did I do that wrong?
You click your
If you-
token. Oh, you probably didn't use the macro.
There's a macro for it? I went to the initiative bit.
Yeah, so in the collections tab right next to settings, there's a bunch of macros. So you can just click on in bar.
In the collections?
Yeah, the thing that's right next to settings.
Okay.
Looks like 3 lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just slap those in your bar, click on your token, then click initiative.
All right. And then,
Yeah.
so, Steve, if you would, I'm going to be rolling, obviously, for the Hive Tyrant. Now, you roll a number of dice. Did you set up a number of dice equal to your speed score? Is that correct?
Your initiative.
Your initiative. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So, and again, we're all kind of I'm learning to play this here today. I know I'm the game master. Never played it. Steve is being gracious enough to teach me, so thank you, sir. So it's
I get to play
initiative,
for
which
it.
would be 7. Okay, perfect. Actually, no, wait. This is Hive Tyrant. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and roll for him. And that would be plus 7. All right. All right. Okay. And we've got here, get this bad boy into the initiative. 2. All right, we delete this guy. All right. First up in the initiative, we have Helena. Let's get after it.
She's immediately going to charge.
Yes! Yes! Describe this charge. Describe the activation of this Thunderhammer. I want to hear all of its glory. And the wrath that you're bringing.
Yeah, she hefts up the Thunderhammer in both hands and thumbs the activation stud, and the head of the hammer crackles with energy, and she silently just hefts it and just charges towards the enemy.
I love it. Let's get weird.
So I will be rolling my wrong page, that one.
All right, now that would be, I believe, 7 successes.
8.
8 successes.
8 successes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So 5, let's see here. So we've got 6, so 6, 7. So 6 would be 2, becomes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the Wrath die is another success, is that correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that is 7 successes or 8?
8.
8 was the target number you needed to hit its defense score. So that is fantastic. So charging forward, the crackle of thunder and lightning and electricity just illuminates, and the light, the floodlights from the Terminator's armor had dissipated for a moment, not shrouding the room in darkness, but the only light you had was those red emergency floodlights that are on the floor of this docking bay, and it crackles to life, illuminating everything, and it's like a shadow. You can see the shadow of this Hive Tyrant. Now, describe the Hive Tyrant to everyone. These are massive, I believe you said like 16-foot tall tyrannid alien monstrosities that have these wicked-looking bone swords in their hands and additional claws, this wicked tail, and just a huge, massive maw. And it's just like shing, and you're gonna deal some damage. So let's get weird. Go for it.
I hope so.
Wow.
So how much damage is that?
So I'm doing the base damage is 15
Okay.
plus 3, 4, so that takes it to 19. And it has an AP of -4.
Excellent. So
So it's taking off 4 wounds anyway.
I have to look at its resilience.
Yep.
And then we subtract the AP. Then we
Yep.
subtract the remaining resilience from the damage. And then the
Yep.
rest goes in, and then we can roll to see if it succeeds on its shock, which I'm not exactly sure how shock works. You have to walk me through that. But I remember we went over this yesterday. Okay, perfect. So you bring the Warhammer up, charging forward. Smashing into the creature's right side. So it has 4 arms, each wielding these bone swords, and you find like a hole between the two as it brings them up in an attempt to attack you, and you just crack it into the side. The entire room, there is this deafening and thunderous kathum as the Warhammer strikes, and the creature actually buckles a little bit to the right-hand side from your perspective where you're hitting it. So it goes poof like this. And so it's got a resilience score of 12, which means we subtract 4, remaining 8. You
Yep.
dealt how much damage?
Um,
Total was
15, 19.
19. So we subtract that, so that leaves 11. And then it can attempt to move some of those over to its shock. Now, walk me through
Yep.
and remind me how that works.
It is a determination roll.
And
So they should have a determination score.
okay, determination score. Yes, I have 6. So I roll 6 dice.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna roll 6 dice. Excellent. So I got, what is that? A lot of failures.
The skulls are 5, so that's 1, 2, 3
Mhm.
successes. So you can shift 3.
Mhm.
But you
So
also
it
rolled
that remains with 9 damage going through.
Yeah.
So no, 8 damage going through. So perfect. Okay. Go ahead and roll that. And then there's also a 1, which is a complication, correct?
Yes.
So the complication, which I think is interesting, is as your thunder hammer cracked into the side of this massive Hive Tyrant, the hammer actually sunders one of its bone swords, breaking it and cracking it in half, forcing it to lose one of its attacks and a little bit of its strength and its ability to deal damage back to you, and it stumbles slightly to the right-hand side as well. Next up in the initiative, and I think that would be the end, right? Like that's everything, correct? Perfect, awesome.
Yep.
And thank you, Steve, again for walking me through this. Thank you, the other two, for bearing with me. I think
We're all learning
rounds,
here.
couple rounds, we're gonna get through this, and it's gonna be like friggin' cakewalk for us. Next up is the performer.
The performer will also charge, and as charging in, will say, "A perfect hit, Mad Queen," and then will attempt to stab it with his sword.
I love it. I love where your mind's at. Let's get weird.
So that's only 6, I think. 5, 6.
Yeah.
You bring you said some sort of what kind of sword do you have?
I have a 4 sword.
A 4 sword.
How many? So if I use Wrath, do I reroll the entire thing or just some dice?
Just
What's the-
failures.
Just the failures, right?
Yeah.
I'll burn one of my 2 wrath. Why not? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And do I re-roll the wrath dice?
Yep.
Okay. All right. How does? How, well,
you
how
can
did
just
you get this neat little thing here?
There's a roll macro, and you can just
Oh.
re-roll. If you re-roll.
Oh yeah, look at that.
4,
Dice pool. You said 4?
Yeah.
And that'll add the 5 dice
automatically
total.
roll. Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Go.
I'm still
Wow.
missing 1 dice, however.
2.
That's 6 successes there.
I believe that was.
And that's
just-
the last one.
Is that just 2 successes, or is that 6 successes?
4
6.
a 4 is an icon. So,
Yeah,
but
so
the
it
but the
is-
6 is the exalted icon.
Got
So
it.
that's-
So that is a hit. So you charge forward, and as you're charging forward, you see the Hive Tyrant bringing its
6,
bone sword
7,
down
8,
to block
9,
away your attack.
11.
But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, what you are, being what you are, you're able to kind of jump through, not the warp, or it is the warp, and you can like maybe move through like time and space a little bit.
I'm just real agile.
Yeah, so it almost looks from your perspective, Sister of Battle and Inquisitor, that the Harlequin phases out of reality for a moment. Really, you're just moving lightning quick, and as the bone sword comes to cut you in half, you are right next to it and are able to plunge your force sword into its side. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. So the defense was 8, right?
Correct.
And I got a total of 6, 9, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13. So I can shift these 6s to get some stuff. But I don't remember the stuff I can get. Steve, help me out with that.
So you can shift to. So you can put 1 into the glory pool, and then you can roll. Put extra dice for additional damage.
Okay. If I pull, so I can shift 2 exalted icons, so I'll shift 1 to glory and 1 for additional damage. So we have a glory and bonus dice for a damage roll. So let me just do this. So damage. All right. So
So I should be doing 2, 3.
so I have brutal. So it's 2, 3, 5, 6 extra damage on top of the 12 with an armor penetration of 3. So 18 damage, and its resilience is reduced by 3.
You've got 10 damage going through right now. It's going to attempt again to shift some of that damage. And which would be, let's see here, 1, 2, 3.
A fair bit of it.
So that
6.
is
6.
6 of it. Okay, so 6 of it is shifted, but that is a 1 again, so there's another complication, correct? Okay, excellent. So the complication is that although the creature wants to attack you, it can't find you because you're moving too quick. Like, you can see it searching for you. So it's not going to take its full attacks this next round. It has multiple attacks because it's going to be spending a portion of its movement and a portion of its turn trying just to find where this Harlequin that just stabbed it in the spleen, or its 8th spleen, I don't know, they have multiple spleens, and it's going to be slightly distracted during this next round of combat. So it's just going to be able to swing once on its turn.
Yeah, I've turned on
And-
my my hollow suit, so it breaks up the outline as I spin around.
I love it. So you can see the creature, just long serpent-like tongue, just it's 3 good swords swinging wildly, trying to slash at where the Harlequin is but isn't, and then it turns to the Inquisitor. and it looks angry. It looks like it wants to come at you, and it's going to go ahead. And it's going to roll some combat die. So for weapon skills, the number of dice you're rolling, correct me if I'm wrong?
It's a weapon skill plus your initiative.
Plus the initiative. And
Yeah.
freaking tastic. I'm sure this is going to be totally fine. It's not even going to hurt you at all, and you'll probably not even get hurt. So it's got this many. 8.
Yeah, my defense is 5.
Ah, okay. All right. So the crackling energy of this hammer, you've pulled it back. You watch as it's swinging with its other 2 swords at the Harlequin, but completely missing. And then as maybe you're slightly distracted, Helena, you feel the impact of a bone sword striking you in the midsection. Your armor creaks and groans against this impact. And now I have to roll damage, which... Do I have a damage die thing, or am I just rolling...
So
rolling the normal
Most damage
dice?
in Wrath and Glory
Okay.
is fixed.
Mhm.
You would roll the extra damage. That's
Got it.
only the dice.
Okay. Let me double check, see how much damage it is. And then, so I have... So it's 12 plus 3 ED. So I'm rolling 3 dice. Is that correct? Okay. Alright, roll. So 3, 2. So it's 14 damage
14.
total. And the penetration on this is a 3.
Okay. My resilience is 11, and I have an armor value of 6. So I can negate 3 of those. Sorry, I can negate 6 of it.
Nice.
And then how many did you say?
13.
Okay. And then I shall roll determination. Ooh. So I can only shift 2 of those into shock. So that's 11. Does that leave it at?
Sounds right.
What was the base? Base damage was 12.
12.
14.
14. Minus 3 for your resilience.
Yeah.
And then you got
minus
2
6
shifts.
for my armor.
Minus 6
Yeah.
for your armor.
So that gives me 7.
Sounds right.
Ouch.
Ouch.
I'll get hit by Hive Tyrant.
Oh,
We're going big. We're going big. All right,
This could be-
and
could be a very short campaign.
it could be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I figured I'd just throw all the stops out at you. And next up is Octavia.
Okay. Like she already had her heavy bolter out. So the moment this thing popped up, she just redirected it straight in front of her, and she's going to fire the heavy bolter.
Or the Emperor. Let's go.
Please take an aim. You can aim and then fire.
Okay, what does that do for me?
It negates issues of shooting into combat. If you're shooting into combat, then there's a 50% chance that you'll hit somebody, not the target that you're trying to aim at.
Oh man.
No.
Okay, so then yes, I will take an aim.
Hive Tyrant doesn't hit the Harlequin with the sister battle does. Hard yes.
Okay, so what do I do anything, or do I just say I'm
No,
taking
it's
the
just
aim
taking
action?
the aim. Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh my god.
I have my base weapon damage. I have 2 ED. I have 1 armor penetration. Should that be a negative or should that be a positive on the chart?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just a number.
Okay. Salvo, everything's set up, so I just hit the attack, right?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I don't think I can hit it.
What is your agility?
My agility is 3.
And what is your ballistic skill?
5.
So
No,
you should
3.
be rolling 6 dice. And you've only rolled 5. So there's something wrong with the macro, with the way that you set that up.
So what's your BS?
2.
Ballistic skill.
There it is, 2. Okay, so it's 2.
Okay.
Attack rating's 3, so it's 5.
So
Okay.
that was right.
All right. So if I wanted to try and re-roll the other 3 and the wrath die,
You would spend one of your 2 wrath tokens.
okay. I do that.
And then you just re-roll all your failures.
Okay.
Which
and-
is, you can use the roll macro in your roll bar.
Okay. So I go to the roll macro, click on that, and I put 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Boy. Oh, geez, what?
No, that's a critical hit on the wrath dice.
okay. So that's. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 4.
Yeah, so you got plus your 6 from before is you have 5 successes.
So its defense score is an 8, which would mean that
Yeah.
you're currently missing, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, and
Is there
even with
any
the armor
options-
penetration.
Is there any options for him at this point, Steve, to turn that into a success?
Can you
Oh
recursively?
yes, because you're at short range, so you should
Mhm.
be 1 more dice on that as well. So if you just roll the macro, roll 1, that should give you a.
Which you would be
Oh.
able to re-roll.
Okay, so wait, because I'm in short range. Okay, I just roll an extra 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Hey,
that's another 2.
is that 8?
So that's
you were at
enough.
6, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Plus,
Okay.
plus.
So
okay.
imagine, if you will, the Sister of Battle. You bring your heavy bolter to bear, and you just and these are massive, two-handed, belt-fed machine guns. All right, and they shoot like, I don't know, 100 caliber just bolts of the Emperor's Fury at your enemies. It's fantastic. So you unload with this thing, and you watch as it's just ting 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 ting, like it's hitting this carapace of this Hive Tyrant, but nothing is going through. And then as the creature rears its head up, you see this soft, little kind of squishy bit just on the underside of its neck. And being the highly trained, amazing warrior that you are, you slightly shift that gunfire, and you start to see flesh just tear, and bits of carapace start to just fillet off of its creature. What's the damage?
Okay, so because I'm in short range, because I have brutal, because it's rapid fire. Okay, so brutalist is okay. That's only for that. So brutal
should be-
is it adds +1 to the roll result of each extra damage die. Because I'm in short range, I add an extra 4, and I already have 2 extra damage die on top. So I'm rolling 6 extra damage, and then on top of that, the result is later. So I do I change my 2 to a 6, or do I add a 4 somewhere else?
You can add a 4 into
The bonus
The
the bonus dice for
da-
damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Okay. So modifier applied to each die. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, I guess that so that's 3 extra
Plus
there.
whatever the
So base is 15, or base is 12, plus the 3 is 15, plus 6, because I rolled 6 die.
So all of this takes place in the course of a few seconds. We watch as Helena charged forward, slamming into the side of the creature, that thunderous kaboom, deafening roar of the Thunderhammer activating and the electric shock emanating out, quickly moving the Harlequin, phasing in and out of reality, stabbing the creature in the side right through the rib-like carapace and drawing this green sickly blood. And then the Hive Tyrant bringing its bone sword around, cracking into the side of Helena. You can see and hear bone breaking and the armor starting to give way as this creature slashes into her side. And then finally, we watch as the illumination from this heavy bolter, those bullets of the Emperor's Fury start to just tink, 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 sending shards and ricochets all over the chamber, putting holes into the walls of this chamber, and then that slight tick up, and you literally saw the creature's head off with the heavy bolter.
21 damage with 1 armor
It
piercing.
falls down to the ground, starts to waver. Its head lands right in front of the performer. You have to stop short before tripping over it. And then the creature just slowly slides over the edge of this hole that it carved into the floor and disappears into the black abyss below.
We've
Oh,
slain the
Christ.
giant that has slain the dragon.
Helena will go and stand next to the hole and gaze into the depths of where the Hive Tyrant's just fallen, and will place like the head of the bottom of the Thunderhammer and place her hands on the pommel and just say, "The dead cannot cry for revenge. It is the living who do so for them." And then turn to the Sister of Battle and tell her, well placed shots.
The Emperor guided my hand.
Well fed, Mad Queen, and well shot, bladed Countess.
You said the helmet of the fallen brother Shane was in one of the Hive Tyrant's hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would that have been the hand that had gotten hit by the Thunderhammer?
Yes.
Okay. I will go to grab the helmet and just is the head of Brother Shane actually inside of it? Okay. And she will just straighten the helmet so that it's straight up, and just do a short prayer. You died fighting the Imperium's enemies.
You know what?
I doubt there is a better at death for a Space Marine.
I'm going to go ahead and give the group an extra glory for that, because that's a really, really good... I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, take an extra glory. Beautifully stated.
It was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Now I'm going to be Xeno and ruin it. Harlequin lightly flips over the hole to land in between Helena and Octavia and says, well, the story does not stall when the main characters take some time. We must press on.
Agreed.
Octavia just stands up and looks back down the hole. Well, if there's more of these ahead, we should be prepared to unleash the Emperor's fury upon them.
And at the
Shall we
mention
go?
at the mention of that, Octavia, clinking noise that as though someone was just tapping or banging on the other side of that door. Tink, 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 tink continues.
Hmm.
You must travel into the Underworld. Journey through the darkness. The story of the Bladed Countess and the Mad Queen are not done yet. Now, the performer will do a nice, sprightly handspring over to the door, right in front of the keypad one more time.
Always a performer. I love it. I love it.
Octavia will move forward to avoid friendly fire and aim the heavy bolter straight down there as soon as the door opens in case something's coming out.
And
Helena will simply gesture to the performer and indicate to open the door.
Once more, with a flourish bow, will attempt to stab the open rune.
And as Octavia stands ready, the Sister of Battle, we watch as the Inquisitor readies herself, and the performer, with a flourish, places the open door button. The door slides open, and a gust of foul-smelling, wretched air and a little bit of smoke emanates out. You can feel the pressure in the room change as the two chambers are adjusting to the differences in pressure of these two rooms. And on the other side of the door, you see what looks to be a small, glowing and hovering servo skull. Let me go ahead and get that onto the map. And for some reason, I can't grab him right now. There he is. Boop. And you see the servo skulls are a literal skull. They have little mechanisms. They have like maybe little tendrils that come out that they can use to interact with objects. And the servo skull was tink, tink. You heard it. The door opened and then it went boop, 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 and moves right into the center of you all. Now, if you imagine the servo skull, I'm going to go ahead and blow it up for everybody, has, perhaps even an eye on the one side. It's got little instruments, vials, screws, tiny hands, a augmented mechanical eye, and it just hovers there slightly. And as it does so, it pivots to the Inquisitor, and you see this red scan energy kind of boop, 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 boop. Then it pivots to the Sister of Battle, boop, 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 boop. And then it pivots to the Harlequin, boop, 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 and starts giving off this emergency alarm. And Helena and Octavia, you would recognize this as the Servo Skull's way of saying, Xenos detected.
I would like to interact with the servo skull, and I'm presuming that it'll be trying to raise some sort of alarms within the Space Hulk, but I want to interact with it and force it to deactivate whatever he's trying to activate.
And as though, if on key, you can hear what sounds like the moving of parts, pieces, the beginnings of alarms blaring, but you have time to interact with it prior to it fully engaging whatever systems it's attempting to activate.
So I think this is going to be... would it be tech, or are we going to say that this is a interaction with an Imperial character?
Whichever you feel more cinematically appropriate. If it's tech, I would imagine that you actually run up, grab it, and start fricking around with its insides. If it's interacting with Imperial, it'd be like Servo Skull, execute order 66 or something. I don't know, just like get weird. So however you want to flavor it, that's how we'll do it.
I want to present my inquisitorial rosette, and then I think it's going to be, I guess, a leadership makes most sense.
I like it.
to instruct it and to tell it to disengage.
Let's make the roll.
I'm going to-
DC's in my brain. 4
Four.
successes. You know what the difficulty was? It was
3.
There it is.
Excellent.
Octavia knows she can read my mind. Yes, so the servo skull, that the grinding of gears, the like starting to spool up like a, you hear all of the alarms, whatever movement, whatever activation this servo skull had begun ceases. And the servo skull, as though a obedient pet, maybe like a guard dog, hovers right in front of Helena as though waiting for its next order or its next command.
That queen is taking back her kingdom from the giants.
Helena will just shoot a glance across at the performer and then back to the servo skull and tell it to imprint our 3 biosignatures into the ship systems and identify us as friendly.
Over to the performer. Over to the Octavia, the battle sister. Sister battle. Operation complete.
Is it still floating there, or is it
It
going
is
off
just
anywhere?
floating there waiting for you. You've made a friend.
With you.
Inquisitor. I do not normally interact with the servo skulls well. Are you able to access any knowledge that it had in terms of what happened on this ship?
I'm guessing we're going to need to find a cogitator or a data slate or some way of actually accessing the data banks. So Helena will say to Octavian that I think that we've just found a friend for the time being. Come, we must venture to the darkness. And then, given that now that we can see into the corridor, Helena will set off walking forwards, expecting everybody else to follow her.
Excellent. You enter into a kind of graded catwalk. These are just areas of different chambers and holes that lead to the different parts of the ship. This section of the ship that you find yourself in, and you see that there is a exterior doorway to the right of your perspective. There's another doorway that leads deeper, and then there's also a doorway to your left that leads kind of northward. We're using cardinal directions.
Ooh, I love me a good dungeon crawl. A nice old-fashioned dungeon crawl.
Woo wee! Got a nice old fashioned dungeon crawl up in here. We gonna dungeon crawl this space hole right here. That's right. We're gonna go room to room. We're gonna find some monsters. We're gonna find some loot, and we're gonna crawl through this dungeon. Yes sir. I'm done. I'm sorry. I digress. Look what you've done, Strom. You friggin' made me go crazy. Bring me back to my southern Georgia roots. All right, y'all have a good time right now. There it is. All right, I'm done.
Helena will look left and right at the intersection, and then simply say, as with the Imperium, we venture onwards and just go straight ahead.
As you strike the next door, the doorway actually does not require you to interact with it because, as you had stated, you have imprinted yourself on the vessel and in the vessel. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal some additional chambers for you. And skedongle. And this, my friend, is what you see. You see the catwalk continues below just the void of the bowels of this massive ship. And in front of you, down the pathway, you see what appears to be a storage or some sort of supply room. Now, what is slightly disconcerting is that the floor of this room is covered in a thick viscous green slime. And it seems to be churning and bubbling.
Okay, I'll walk to the end of the corridor. Is there anything like on the floor that I can pick up, like a bit of random metal or something like that?
Yeah, whatever you want. It could be a piece
Right,
of
I
metal,
want to
scrap.
pick
It
up
could
a
be
bit of scrap metal or something, and then throw it into the goop that's in front of us and see what
We
happens.
grab the broken piece of the tyrant of the Hive Tyrant's sword.
as you
Toss it in
chuck
there.
it and you watch it go boop, 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 it strikes into, let's say, to the like right hand side of the crate in front of you, and you watch as the green goo starts to absorb and move up and around as though it has sentience and encase it. It swirls it around inside itself, similar to like a gelatinous cube would, and then it departs away, and you see that the piece of metal just lies inert on the ground, but there's a small little circle where the ooze is not interacting with that metal anymore.
Ugh.
I've entered the bowels of the underworld.
Wait, is this visible to all of us, or was that only visible to Helena?
You can
For
all
now.
have seen it. You're all like piled around each other, like the Inquisitor's standing there, your head's over here, the Harlequin's like up on the side, like, what are we looking at?
Oh. Shall we test it with something organic?
A wonderful idea, bladed countess.
Starts to walk back towards the Hive Tyrant's head. Dragging the bloody stuff back over here.
Across the metal floor. That's so bad.
Well, would you like me to drop this on you, or would you like to do the deed yourself?
In response, the performer will do a nice somersault over your head.
The Inquisitor just steps to one side and asks Octavia to
Yeet.
do it herself. Yeah, yeet it in there.
She just rears back and just launches it like up in the air, just like tosses it so that it's visible to everybody.
You watch as the Hive Tyrant's head lands very close to where the piece of a chunk of metal that Helena had thrown as well landed. And as the piece of the tyrant, this tyrant's head lands, you watch as that green slime again moves up and around and starts to interact with it. And as you watch this transpire, it looks as though this green slime, whatever it is probing this organic matter, as though it gives the impression like it's searching for something. And you watch as it probes, it pushes, and then you watch as it goes in through where the eyes would be into the mouth, and then over the course of 60 seconds, you watch as the head of this Hive Tyrant is dissolved into the green substance. And then the pool goes inert once again. Just a small little, not completely inert, but the little bubbles, the slight movements, maybe a little bit of like ripples in it. And it actually seems, let me retract what I just said. It actually seems more active now than it did prior to throwing in the organic matter.
I believe we should investigate a different area for now, unless we can be certain that we can cross without endangering ourselves before cleansing this place.
And with that, I would like everyone to make, it's not perception, but I've been playing way too much Pathfinder. It was awareness?
Awareness.
Yeah.
Excellent. Everyone make an awareness check for us, please. And just tell me how many successes you got.
4 for me.
6.
6, very nice. Octavia,
3.
you are the one that actually hears this. You are the one, although you're at the back of the line, the other two, maybe the Harlequin and the Inquisitor, are not arguing, but having a moment of discussion. And then Octavia, you are just listening with your heightened senses, your battle sister senses, and the augmented sight. I believe one of your was it
No.
eyes? No.
Was
Augmented
respirator.
respiratory. So
Yeah.
here's how I'm going to describe it to you. You actually smell this, and what it smells like is it smells like very musty sweat. And not to be gross, but like if you've ever like smelled a gym locker room,
Yeah.
that's what it smells like. But on top of that, that's the first thing you get. And as you hone in on where that's coming from, it's across the way. You hear what sounds like not a young child, but a younger human whimpering and crying for the Emperor's light. Emperor, the Emperor protects. The Emperor protects. The Emperor protects. The Emperor protects. And you can't see it. You can't see this person. You don't exactly know where they are, but you then notice that covered by this green slime, as the green slime is kind of creeping and crawling over the back wall on the other side of this chamber, you can see that there is actually an additional doorway that is covered in the green slime. And I'm just going to go ahead and reveal that to you right now so that you can see it. But on the back
So
side
the
there's a
doorway is covered.
Yes. So the door itself is open, but there is a sheen wall of this green slime that is like a fake door. It's a slime door. Slime door. Yeah. Not to be
It's a
confused
curtain.
with
It's a
Mordor.
slime curtain.
It's a slime curtain. Correct. Yes, thank you. Slime curtain. As it were. What a time to be alive. All right. And you can see the outline. Actually, I'm going to say this. You can see the outline of someone crouched sitting and rocking back and forth, and you can hear, although it's muted and it's muffled through the green slime curtain, what a horrible image in my mind. You can see someone rocking back and forth, and you can hear this very quiet, spoken in Imperial tongue. The Emperor protects, the Emperor protects, the Emperor guides, the Emperor's light, the Emperor is the Emperor, just back and forth, shaking.
Mm-hmm. There's at least one survivor up ahead.
Oh, be wary, bladed countess. It could be the evil machinations of the enemy.
I will believe in the Emperor having protected this innocent soul. So the
Helena will ask the performer to head into the room and to the doorway that is sort of to the left. You look like you'll be able to jump across those boxes and not touch any of the goop. So she said she will ask the performer to make her way to see where that corridor leads, as there may be another route round. I don't fancy our chances in getting through the slime curtain.
I wish, Mad Queen, and the performer will hop from this to this box and then over. Is this another slime curtain?
No, that is an open doorway. There is no slime curtain there.
Yeah, then I'll hop to this box.
Umbral,
and then...
thank you for that description, man. That was so on key. That was so good. Like it's slime. It's like a slime door. No, you mean slime curtain? Yes, that's exactly what I meant, and that is such a better image.
Okay, so just before we start getting too far, are the areas that aren't that like off green, are
Yes.
those actually covered?
Nope.
Or is it
Nope.
like there are okay,
Anywhere
so
you
there's actually
see
portions.
that's actual, like that grayish material, that is as it is on the map. That is exactly how the room is covered. Correct. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hop onto this box, then I'll hop off of that.
So is that like an agility check? Is there a
That'd be athletics.
Athletics
check? Go ahead
probably.
and make an athletics check. I'm gonna set a DC in my brain. You'll probably make it because I mean this is literally your shtick, but we'll see.
Oh, I rolled pretty poorly. 4.
You know what? DC in my mind was a 3, so I guess you made it. Like,
Yeah.
you stumble a second, but you lean into it and you make it look like it was intentional. And
Yeah,
To
do a
tumble.
handspring
yeah.
right into the box,
Mhm.
and then from there a nice side. I have forgotten the name. The thing people do where you go to the side.
Cartwheel.
Cartwheel.
Yeah, a cartwheel, but without my hands at all. Just
Ooh.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, if you were handspringing onto the crate from there, so it would be a cartwheel either way. Random gymnastics knowledge.
I love it. So as you land into that corridor, you are greeted by, you know, that smell that I had mentioned? It was kind of like a musty smell. That smell, you picked it up as you moved into the room. You could smell it coming from behind the slime curtain. I'm never going to get over slime curtain. Hashtag slime curtain. Wrath and glory.
hashtag slime
You now
curtain.
smell something even worse. It is the smell of ancient, disgusting rot. And in a pile to your left-hand side, at the entrance of what looks to have been at one point a door, but is sealed shut and just shut off, there is maybe a corpse? It is just a pile of viscera and meat and flesh and maybe some bone, and you think you see an eyeball, but you're not exactly sure. But it smells horrible and is nasty, and it's not moving, but you can see dried greenness all over this thing. It's as though it was melted away. Super nasty.
There is only a corpse here. I'll put my ear to both of these doors. Is there anything weird going on behind them?
Awareness check.
That one. Which is
Damn.
wow, 2, 4, 5.
That is damn good. So you're actually going to hear all the things. So the first thing that you hear is from the doorway to the north side. So just in front of you, you hear the mad ramblings in Imperial as well of someone mentioning the work must be done. There's not much time. We must repair the ship. The work must be done. There's not much time. And the voice itself sounds as though it's coming from behind a mask or is partially mechanical, like someone speaking through a voice box of some kind. And it's you hear the sound of machinery, of blowtorches, maybe a saw. You know, it's whatever or whoever this person is building or working on something behind the door. But I'm not even making make a check for this. This guy sounds completely insane. Like, whoop, off its rocker. His rocker.
Yeah,
Their rocker.
The performer will, under his breath, say, the Hierophant enters the performance.
I actually have a question.
Mhm.
So, this is really to the other two Warhammer 40k lore libraries. Really, is what you guys are. How many people would have a Vox speed? Like, how common is a Vox speed?
Anyone anyone in
fairly
the military who's like a sergeant or better would have a Vox speed. And like they're not cheap, but like you could find them in the equivalent of a military surplus store, which are all black market in the Imperium, but you could find them in the equivalent of a military surplus store anywhere.
Okay. So, like, I remember, because of the of that communication coming through that door, I was thinking we should be able to ping like other Vox beats, right? Like, is there any other person available on this line? I'd like to attempt that. Just literally just activate my Vox bead or however it is and attempt to just ping and like wait for a response to see if there's anything from other beings on this ship.
Octavia over here using that big brain energy. I like it. All right, I like it. I like it. All right, foiling my plot already. I see how it is. This is why I can't have you at the table. No, I digress. I kid. I kid. So, as would perhaps be expected, you hear something. It's whoever this person is that the performer just heard is broadcasting over the Vox feed, and you hear these machinations. The machine spirit must be defended. The machine spirit, it must be repaired. There is work to be done. There is work to be done. All Imperials must assist the machine spirit. It must be allowed to survive. It must be defended. It must be loved. It must be protected, guided. Machine spirit, guide me. Guide me. That's what you hear, just over and over again.
Octavia turns to Helena. Inquisitor, I believe we might have somebody of the Adeptus Mechanicus who may have maybe suffering from what is it? Spacer sickness, I think is what it was. It's where if somebody's alone for a long time, they start going wonky.
Helena will then simply face forward back into the room and say, then we should move onwards and determine whether their soul can be returned to the salvation of the Emperor. And then I want to see if Helena and Octavia can help one another from where they are onto the box and then back across to where the performer is stood.
How good is your athletics overall? Like, if you were to describe like how athletic Helena looks, would probably be the best.
Decidedly average.
Okay.
I mean, she's
So
over
the
100 years old, so I don't know.
The performer is gonna stick out his head from where he is, just so it's like, it's just like, so he's not standing in the goop, but he's like waist high above it and leaning out over it. So underneath, it's actually starting to like slowly rise up, and he just says, "It seems that we have found the Hierophant, and I might have some way of helping you get across." And then he quickly ducks back in and just scoops up like 2 armfuls of this just disgusting matter and just throws it into the room.
I mean, I was just going to offer to jump to this thing and then launch Helena over into the corner.
2 things. Gross.
Gross.
Thing.
Yeah.
Bold choice, Con. Let's see if it pays off. So as the performer lifts up the goop and unceremoniously hefts it into the room, you all see this massive nasty, for lack of a better phrase, just sploosh. The green slime kind of piles up, and there is a moment of silence, and then there is this, like, if you've ever seen a fish right below the surface of the water, and that like bubbling noise that it makes as they're like flapping around, or like when you see a fish come up and grab a bug, and there's that like ripple of water, the entire room starts to do that like very intense rippling, and you watch as the writhing mass of this green goop starts to coalesce around this bit of flesh and nasty and bone and viscera that you threw in there. And
Quickly, while it is distracted,
it starts to grow into something. But I'm going to give you guys a chance to make some choices of how you want to proceed.
Well,
would the goop have moved from? Would it have like formed a big blob and we can then just quickly run through?
Yes.
Helena will just set off running.
I love it.
And run over here.
and the
Okay.
performer will open the door, as they come in, and like a aircraft director, just
And
boy.
as you guys maneuver your way into this doorway, and you look back over your shoulders,
Boy.
you see something real nasty and real gross. And what you see is, and honestly, the two main Imperials, and even the performer might recognize this as a Plague Bearer demon. And not one, not two,
Oh,
not three, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the pool starts to coalesce and begins to just form into a series of these warp spawned chaos sons of bees.
7?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them. They're just start appearing up. And as you all make your way across, because you've got enough time to make your way across, you can even charge through that other doorway into where you're hearing this insane Vox box machinations about this machine spirit. You see one of them turn towards the hashtag slime curtain
Christ.
and make its way in. And all you hear is you all move through the doorway. And if you want to stop and turn back, you're welcome. But you're going to hear "The Emperor protects!" Ah!
Yeah.
And a tearing of flesh.
I would have liked to attempt to save whoever that is over there before that.
Okay. You're going to hear the screams. And if you want to turn back and have this fight, I'm not going to stop you. It's entirely up to you folks. And in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 5 to 10 minute break so these gentlemen can discuss how their next actions want to be, and the game master can take a quick bathroom break. But everyone else that's on the chat here, stick around. We'll be right back. Give us 5 to 10 minutes. We'll be back with some more Wrath and Glory, the Arcanum Tempestus, and our intrepid adventurers doing their best to survive the chaos of this Space Hawk. My friends, we'll be back here shortly. All right, and we return with the Wrath and Glory one-shot, Tempestus Arcanus, and our party of intrepid adventurers, heroes of both the Imperium and the Eldar Nation. Eldar Nation, that's funny. I don't know if that's actually a thing. But
Everything changed when the
yeah.
Eldar Nation attacked.
Everything changed when the Eldar Nation attacked. Wow, we are just all over the place right now. So, we have a situation upon our hands in this present moment. And we see
Yes, we do.
7 Plague Bearer Hellspawn, Demon Spawn, Chaos Spawn is what it would be, have just emerged out of this nasty green slime. And I want to give this scene to the players here for a moment so that everyone can discuss, because as we were on break here, they were discussing what their tactics, what their plan was. So why don't you guys take the scene here, and I will just stand back and let you foil my plans.
Well, I mean, like I said, she's a sister of battle. These are demons, straight up, down. They need to die, especially if there's a like knowing that they were going after the person that's on the other side of this slime curtain, or if they were just forming there. I feel like it still would have been probably instinct to attack as quickly as she could.
So on top of that being completely badass, the Sister of Battle, Octavia, you would also see this person, this voice that was crying out for the Emperor's light, for the Emperor's protection. You see a lone guardsman with scratched and tattered armor, missing his helmet, clutching a bent and damaged las rifle, little las gun, just rocking back and forth with wide-eyed fear, looking at this chaos spawn in front of him, attempting to bear down as the curtain, the hashtag slime curtain, has come and helped form up these new chaos spawns. So what do you all
do? Like I said, like she would have probably tried to open fire almost immediately, but would have probably tried to position herself, if I can, over here.
Let's roll initiative. Let's go. You can absolutely position yourself here. Let's roll some initiative. We're going to get into some combat.
All right. God dang it. I'm just not meant to go early.
Well, to be fair, the 2 melee characters have a dumb high initiative stat, because that's your melee stat.
Wait, I'm supposed to have a melee? I'm supposed to have initiative high? I mean, mine's a 4. I mean, what is yours?
6.
6.
Oh, well, that probably explains why then.
To be fair, I dumped everything into initiative because all I have is a thunder hammer. So I only need weapon skill and initiative.
Well,
I have ballistic skill 0.
I mean, okay, so obviously she's a sister of battle. She has to be melee and range proficient. I just didn't put much into range because I was planning on going melee with my chainsword. But apparently my heavy bolter is more effective.
Heavy bolters do not fuck around.
Well, at least I'm acting. At least we're all acting before the enemy.
First up in the initiative is none other than the performer. Actually, you know what? No. Hold on. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. There are surprise rounds, right? In Wrath and Glory?
Yeah.
I would say, strictly on the grounds of Sister of Battle is always ready for battle, it's literally in her name, you're going to get a chance to unload on the surprise round here. Because I believe as soon as you saw that first demonic head start to form up, you're like, nope. And you just unloaded. And you can say no,
okay,
but I think that's what you would do.
I mean, I would be at least trying to draw their attention.
Let's go.
So, because if I were to move my character directly over, it'd be covering that one. Would that be considered one short range?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can. So if you make, so you've got 3 options for ranged. If you have a salvo weapon,
Yes, this is a salvo 3 weapon.
So you can make a salvo full attack, which gives you bonus damage to the attack test.
Okay.
You can do a spray attack, which is basically you can it's a multi-attack, or you can spray mob, which you can hit additional targets. So if you've got a salvo 4, you can hit one shot on each if you wanted, or two on one and then 2 on another.
Okay, I've got a salvo 3 though.
Okay, so you could do 2 on 1 or 1 on.
I could 1 on 3.
Hit three
Okay.
characters. Yeah.
So how does that work on damage? Like, is it literally just I roll the damage and then it's divided by it, or its damage is applied? That same damage is applied to all targets.
you
I'm
roll
not sure.
damage
I'm not sure where
once.
the rules of that are.
You roll damage once and apply it to everyone you hit.
Okay.
But it's the same base damage to everyone hit, correct?
Yeah.
But the drawback being that's a full round action, I assume.
Yes, and you go out of ammo.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Then you have to spend a
And-
round reloading, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
So if I were to do the spray, is what you said, right? The one that would allow me to hit multiple targets.
Yeah.
What would I change in terms of any of my little boxes here?
Nothing. It's exactly the same, except instead of doing all 3, so your damage, if it's a base 12 damage, normally you do 3 times 12 damage.
Okay.
To one target. Now you're doing just that damage to
3
to
targets.
each. Yeah.
So I mean, that'll just be these 3 right here.
I love it.
You also have to their defense for every target after the first is increased by 2, which is reduced by your salvo rating. So if you shoot 2 people, it increases it by 2, and it gets reduced by 3, but you can't decrease it more than +2. So +2 is your minimum. So you can shoot 3 people for the same difficulty shooting 2 people.
Okay. Yeah, so because my salvo is 3, if I were to try shooting, it would just it drops, instead of going to 4, it drops back to 2, right? Is that what it is? Okay. So, and that's for every target after. So, like, if this is the first target, it's normal damage or normal.
No, so you
normal
do
difficulty?
one shoot action,
Uh-huh.
and then you figure out how many targets you want to shoot, and then all the stuff, and then it all gets lumped into the one action.
Okay. So
So if you shoot 3 people, all 3 of them increase their defense by 2.
okay, and then so I don't change anything. I just do an attack roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How does glory work? Like, does glory make it a better chance of success, or does it give you a success?
You gain bonus dice to a roll,
Okay.
so you could add an additional dice onto your attack.
Yeah, and how you got 1 glory.
For the prayer to.
I think we're on 4 now. Yeah, 1.
So is it similar to Star Trek, where it's 1 die, or one glory, 2 glory, 3 glory, kind of thing?
How do you mean? Sorry.
In Star Trek, you can buy an extra die for 1. You can buy 2 die for 3 total, and you can buy
No, it's just
3 die.
1 glory, 1 extra die, 2
Okay.
glory, 2 extra die.
So we've got 4 glory. And I have to declare those glory spends before I make the roll itself, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your ballistic skill?
I think it was 5.
5. Yeah.
Take 2 glory, shoot 3 people.
Okay, so that would be
Just
bonus
add
die.
4.
So I just add 4 bonus die to this.
Yeah, just use all of it.
Okay.
So the ABD, attack bonus dice.
Yeah, and then nothing is applied to the modifier yet, right?
Correct.
Nope.
Okay, so here's this. Dang it. That's 4.
Have you still got a wrath?
Yeah,
Well, the
I've
good
still
news
got a
is,
wrath.
these guys' defense score is a 4.
Right, but because I'm doing a spray,
It's
First
actually
one is
6.
base. Then the next one, right?
No, they're all
All
increased by 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
but isn't it increased by 2 subtracted from his?
no,
score?
no, because
No, we did all the
because
math.
so if I was only doing 2, it'd be +2. I'm doing 3, it's +4 technically, but because my salvo's a 3, they just said that it would drop to 2 minimum.
So the
And
rule states you can't decrease the increase to their defense value by more than the standard penalty imposed by multi-attack, which is 2. So
Okay.
2, as soon as you target more than one
Automatically, the
person,
defense is up by 2. Correct.
yeah,
So it is a 6 then because of the multi-attack. So that first attack. Now, does that first attack count for all of the attacks, or is it just?
It's all the
It's
attacks.
6. So we got to figure out a way to reroll.
Oh no, I've got a wrath still.
Yes.
So I've got a wrath, and I'm technically only aiming at a 5 because it's an armor penetration.
Beautiful.
that only is for damage.
I thought
Well, that's only for damage?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I'm at a 4 right now. So all I need to do is get 2 more successes.
And you got
Minimum.
a bunch of dice you could reroll.
So that is
Reroll
1,
5.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 because the wrath die is also not
Yeah.
a.
Yeah.
Correct.
Let's go. Boom! 8!
Oh!
Let's go, Sister
Oh, so
of
that's-
Battle!
so that's-
Ah!
five,
The
six,
Emperor's
seven,
Fury!
Oh, jeez.
Let's go! What a turnaround! Oh, man! You know
Yeah,
what?
So
You know what,
that's
Octavia?
2 exalted,
Take that wrath
3?
token right back. Take it right
Okay,
back.
so-
Just take it
So
back.
that's-
It's like you never
that's
spent
3
it.
exalted tokens. What can I do with them?
Yes.
Right, so one of them we'll put straight into the glory pool again, and then the other ones stick 2 into your additional damage. So
Those would be EDs, extra dice.
Oh, so they'd be extra dice. Okay.
Yeah.
And Octavia,
So-
please, just I don't know if you heard, please take that wrath token back. That
Okay.
too freaking bad. Like that, you don't even have to spend it. You spend it, it goes right back to your pool, dude. That was fucking sweet.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to mark it down, anyways. Okay. So.
Oh my god. 8.
Here's this.
That's an 8.
Okay, so that's
It's got
1,
an 8.
2, 3, 4, 5 on top of 12. So that's 17. So that's 23, and it's -1 armor.
All right, so I want you all to imagine that this green slimy pool. This has all happened so quickly. The performer's like, grossness. Whoop, into the grossness. It cloop. You hear this. And then you see the Sister of Battle moving with a quickness and a precision that only someone of her combat expertise could do. Pivots into position, and before the gun is even brought to bear, you watch as these huge metal bullets start to tear into the ground. You saw the first one in half. Pivoting the gun back around in a wide swath, you just cut the others down. And 3 of the demons, that's 6, but 3 of the demons are slain before they even get a chance to do any of their demon BS. Holy crap, what a roll. I don't know how they're going to recover. That was amazing. Performer, you're up next.
All right. So the performer.
The Emperor
is
does
going
indeed
to-
protect. From the hallway, real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt Trump, but from the hallway, you hear that voice. The Emperor's light. The Emperor's light! And you hear the charging of a las gun.
Man, I hope he blows himself up with his last gun.
how dare you? He's a plucky guardsman.
That's what plucky guardsmen
He's
do.
going to be a
Die.
guardsman that actually survives his first encounter.
What do we got, Performer? You're up next.
We're
Woo!
gonna handspring
Woo!
up onto this crate here, and he's going to do the same thing with his dinky shuriken pistol because it also has salvo 3.
Let's go.
Shuriken pistol attack. So
Oh,
that
damn.
is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the number I needed.
Bingo bango.
So he hits the 3 of them, and then damage for the pistol is a base. I think it's 11. 10, and it is AP. Oh, yeah, it's AP 0. Wait, it has rending. What the hell does rending do? When
Give
you
me a second.
Shift an exalted icon. I didn't do that. So 11 damage,
Yeah.
no armor penetration to these 3 here.
So it looks cool. You know, you watched as the holy fire, the
Wait,
holy
I got this.
metal, that is the
Oh, God.
Emperor's justice and wrath, tears through the demons, and doing a kick-ass somersault, landing all like Black Widow style, just like pew, pew, pew.
Even cooler than that.
Even cooler than
In
that.
the middle of the summer of the handspring triple axle, just as he's spinning in the air.
Excellent.
And bits of
Some
green
fucking Neo
flesh
shit.
and slime and filth and pus and mucus are torn away from the demons, but the 3 that you struck are still standing, unfortunately. They are still standing.
I got a dinky shuriken pistol.
But it looked cool. It looked really cool.
It looked cool as
It looked
hell.
really fucking cool. It really did. It really did. Next up is Helena.
I am going to run to here, and then I want to shout to the guardsman and get him to steel himself and get himself ready for charging with bayonets, because that's what guardsmen do best.
Give us a leadership.
Don't take this from me. Let him blow himself up with his bent to shit lasgun.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
That is a lot.
4. How did I roll that many ones?
I can't believe you rolled so many dice and only got 4.
Honestly, like, if you re-rolled that, you could probably get like a 10.
So
Easy.
ones are critical failures?
No, only on the
I'm
wrath
going
die.
to re-roll all of
Or at least as far as I know.
those failures.
All right.
So that is
It's only a
re-rolling
failure if
9.
it's a wrath die, right?
That is an aggressively low number.
I mean, 4 is like pretty good, all things considered. Most things are DN 3 or 4 anyway. So like 4 is
Uh-huh.
a good number. But wow, that was a lot of dice that didn't make 4 up.
Much better. Much better.
8. So I'm at 12. So she's going to stand there, charging her thunder hammer, the crackle of energy around the head, and shout, "Guardsman, remember your oath to the Emperor, for he will protect you in this day."
Shift one of those for glory. I
Yeah.
don't think 12. I think 12 is probably fine.
And then I want him to charge into. I want to try and get him to like charge into the room, firing at the primordial annihilator.
The Emperor guides my path!
Exactly.
Frank the Guardsman. I'm gonna go ahead
Frank.
and let him act out of turn. Comes charging in with his flashlight, and which is what we call just. You see the little last bullets, like searing bits of demonic flesh and burning slime, and you can just see this crazed, emaciated-looking guardsman just reloads, just screaming his head off as he just unloads with his little las rifle, highly ineffective. Little bit of damage dealt to these things, but he is just going to town. And the good news is, maybe for you guys, a couple of demons are distracted by him. So we'll see how that works out for Frank, the guardsman. You know,
The real good news
Good
is he
job,
didn't hit
Frank.
us.
Octavia, you're up next.
I will
my God.
toss. I will toss this guardsman my bolter, my bolt pistol, not my heavy bolter, the bolt pistol that I have.
Okay.
So he has a fully functioning weapon.
Ah!
The las gun is fully functioning. It's just
No, it was
fucking
bent.
useless.
So
Listen, it spits las bolts. It functions.
I am gonna
Yeah.
spend one of my what's my thing called?
Ruin.
Ruin. That is, you chuck it
whatever.
at him, it
And it
hits
him in
him
the
in the side of the head and knocks him the F out. And he just ah, dunk, and he just falls to the ground unconscious. And the
Ugh,
demons
fucking hell,
look at each
Frank.
other, look at the guardsmen, and then look back to you guys. That's where
I
we're
mean,
at.
That's fine. That's fine.
Excellent throw.
The las
Later
gun
countdown.
is still going us off because his trigger finger is still on it. You're shooting against the wall right now.
Okay, whatever. She because the heavy bolter is now out of ammo and it takes a round to reload, if I'm correct.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
That is correct.
I grab my I pull my chainsword up and I'm just like, for the Emperor, and I
Let's
put
go.
in and attack.
Let's go.
How far can I move exactly? If I'm over here, how far
So
can I move?
ranges are a little bit more, just abstract. You're at like probably the edge of close to like the maybe getting to medium range. You can definitely move up to them, and with just one like you can move up to them, no problem.
Okay, so if I were to move up to one, can I? And I can only make one attack because I moved, right? With my
So
chainsword.
you can charge
Okay.
from there.
So-
And
You
which-
could do a multi-attack.
oh, that's true.
So the way that targeting things in this game works is unlike D&D, where you would have extra attack and can do an attack against whatever.
Mhm.
In Wrath and Glory, you can attack anything in range and as many things as you want in range, but every time you do, it increases that by an additional 2 difficulty for every single thing. So if you wanted to fight 2 of them, that would be both of them would have a greater
A +2.
+2 to their defense.
Okay.
Fight 3 of them would be +4 to each one's defense.
Okay. So if I were to, for some reason, want to jump into the middle of all 4 of them and just go human buzzsaw on them, that would be a total of a +6.
Yeah, you would have to. Their defense would be 12. Oh no, it would be 10.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say 12. Okay.
So what's your total weapon skill?
My total weapon skill is we're 9.
The-
My weapon rating is 9 total with everything. I think because my weapon
Like-
skill, yeah, I have
You-
4 points into it. I have a 5 strength.
You could hit all of them. You're unlikely to.
Yeah.
I use as a general rule, whatever the skill total is the
Mhm.
DN number you can assume, +1 or plus or minus 1 or 2
Okay.
hit.
And I'll just go here and I'll go for 2. So, in melee, hold on. I've actually
See,
got.
when you charge, you get +1 to attack or damage.
Well, can I
Is it like the
multi-attack with a
tabletop where
charge?
you would get a +1 on the charge, like when you attack?
Yeah, +1.
+1, but yeah, is it to attack dice or extra damage? I can't find it.
Attack dice.
Okay, so I get 1 extra die for that.
So if you want to just like Kool-Aid Man this and just charge through the wooden like crates and just like burst into the center of them and do like a whirlwind attack, I support you in your journey to die.
You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna hop. I'm gonna hop, and then just slam down, swirling in a freaking buzzsaw.
You hear the chain sword rev up, and you watch as those gnarly and vicious teeth begin to spin so quickly that it just looks like a blurry spinning blade, and it starts to do work. Make the
Okay,
attack.
so
you get +1 in the attack bonus dice box for charging. I think we've got 3 glory.
which would be
So I would put at least, put 2 into there.
okay.
And that
so-
also
so-
increases your attack dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that, and here's this. Ah,
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
You got a
9.
wrath though.
I have a wrath. I
You
can
do
still
have
do it.
He
that
gave it
wrap you
back.
got back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gave it back.
So let's go for 9. Let's go for freaking broke again.
Let's go.
Oh,
Is
so
that it?
close.
No.
9.
1.
9.
And I
2,
believe
3,
because their base
4.
defense is a 4 and it was a +6 on the attack, I think you're missing by 1.
Am I missing by 1?
I think you're missing by 1.
By
Son
1.
of a.
Son of a biscuit.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so charge gives me 1, right?
Yeah.
Just 1. Oh, if I'd spent the fourth or the third glory.
All right.
That's hard.
Um,
That's heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking.
Actually, hold on.
hold on. Is there any options here? Do we have any options?
That's bonus to toughness, powers, melee attacks deal extra damage. Oh, I forgot. I'm attacking with my chainsword. I get 2 extra dice because it's my trademark weapon.
Glory! Glory to the Emperor!
Jesus Christ!
Just roll 2 more dice, and hopefully we'll get 2 more successes.
Oh
No!
There's no wrath dice. This is just normal dice.
So I got my success.
That's the one. You needed what? You
Yeah,
need
you get
10.
10.
I just needed.
That's
one.
it.
Yeah.
That's done. Let's go.
But you spent the reroll.
So it's similarly to last time, where you unloaded with the bolter on the first time, and you charged in, and you attacked the Hive Tyrant, and you saw that moment. You charge into the center, and you see all of the demons start to move back, and it's like that scene if you've ever seen Sherlock Holmes, where he envisions the fight with the boxer. You're like, blade to the gut, move over, pivot, take the head. Take the arm, grab it, hit the other one, and it is a lightning flash scene of, like, you play it out in your mind in slow motion, you talk yourself through it, and then it's demon, no! And then go save us! And it's just, it is viciously gruesome. How much damage is that?
Okay.
In a game of 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
Every 1 and
Okay,
2 counts.
All right. So.
Oh my God. Let's go.
It's that. So 6. So I get that there. Total bonus dice added is an extra there. I think that's correct. Okay, no. So
you can shift. So you got 2 6s. So
Uh-huh.
shift one of them back into a glory,
So,
Okay.
and then
I
the
have
other 6 that.
I have
Go
a
on.
question on how shifting works. But when it was explained to me, shifting removes the 2 from your pool, so it actually reduces your number of icons by that much. So in order to shift, you would have to beat the thing by at least 2.
Yeah.
okay, so nothing's getting shifted, but
But you still have the ability to re-roll that 1 failure because you did spend a wrath to re-roll. So you could re-roll into a 6.
Okay, so I spent a wrath to re-roll.
Yeah, but you forgot that those 2 were
But you could
additional, so you
re-roll
would have
that
been
one
able
if
to
you
re-roll
wanted.
that 1.
So yeah, reroll the 1. Just reroll 1 die.
Okay.
All right. No,
Hey, it's a 6.
That's a 6. Holy
Excellent.
crap! Your Your retroactive dice luck is insanity. And
It's
I love
insane.
It. And I love it. And I love it. And I support it.
Okay. So I shifted into glory, right?
And now you're just rolling your standard standard damage on your chainsword, which should be.
So
Strength
I have
plus
my one
5,
die.
4 extra dice.
Strength plus 5. And because it's my trademark weapon. Okay, no. So that's the damage. This is just attack. And let me
I'm so
see.
excited. I'm like, surely 7 demons shall be a problem for them.
I took out. Am I taking them all out by myself? Essentially,
You might be.
I think so. If you just roll 4, you should have 4 in that extra dice slot,
Okay.
and then just roll your damage.
Okay. So that's 4 there. On top of that, so that is 8, 20.
All right. So let me lay this out for y'all as this happens. So if I remember correctly, Octavia, you leaped over the crate and then just like did a slide thing into the center of them or something like that.
It was more that I went from here to here. I jumped up and landed, twisting my blade as I'm landing.
So as
Just
you
swirling
jumped
around.
up, you did a sweep down, cutting one of the demon's heads in half, landing, and then pivoting it back up and around. You took one of the demon's arms, grabbed it, and then exploded pink misting his head with his own arm. Pivoting the blade around, you cut the other one open, and in a wide arc over your head, you literally bisected the last demon, splitting him in half and sending viscera, gore, and nastiness to all corners of this room. And as though the music knew that we were done with this combat, the song was actually ending, which is perfect timing. Couldn't have done it better if I had planned it. But we're going to go back to the Desecrated Sanctum atmosphere. And you are left with don't let the map fool you. There is no more green slime. There's a couple of dead, nasty demons, but the room is quiet, except for the sounds of a pew, 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 as the las gun is still firing against the wall, and there's a tiny little scorch mark where it keeps striking the same spot in the bulkhead. As
And
Frank,
Octavia's-
the guardsman, is passed out over.
Yeah,
on the
Octavia's
floor.
just like.
So now we see why the bladed countess has her name.
Can we just take a moment to say, wow? Holy
Yeah.
street.
Apparently, I know how to make a character.
That was awesome.
Yes. So as I return to after we're done here, I return to my order. I'm just like, oh yeah. So I decapitated a hive tyrant and slayed 7 demons single-handedly.
Ugh. I mean, the friggin', the she helped a little bit. He helped a little bit. The Harlequin.
There was a
helped
little bit of help.
And you know what?
I
You know
acknowledge
what?
no Xenos as help.
Helena, she got them distracted. She did get them distracted. Yup. And Frank did a little work too.
Yeah.
Kind of. Frank was
Yeah.
present for the fight.
Frank was
think-
doing his job. He was doing exactly what he was supposed to be doing.
And please continue, my
Distracting
friends.
people.
Please continue.
So after she catches her breath from the just adrenaline-fueled rage of I am attacking and killing demons and successfully doing it, she will reload her heavy bolter. And go pick up her bolt pistol.
I'm gonna say, I think Helena will pick up the bolt pistol, and then once she's finished, when she sees that you've finished reloading your heavy bolter, will toss you the bolt pistol and say
attach
something
it to her leg
something
again.
along the lines of it seems that the emperor's benevolence is with us this day, and then we'll slap Frank awake.
Look at this nice servant of the emperor.
The guardsmen stand prepared to serve the emperor. Be you real be you a ghost?
I'm Inquisitor Helena Ashur of the Order of Xenos. How long have you been in this place?
I am
Like
Cadet
to-
Frank of the 75th. I don't know. I don't know. Sir, ma'am, and he's awkwardly holding the rifle, which is no longer firing. It was for a second as he stood up and then realized his finger was on the trigger, so he took it off, and there's just little scorch marks along the wall, and he's like standing at awkward attention with it, like saluting and doing one of these.
And just to set the background, the performer is doing his best Spider-Man pose on the box, just with his leering
Nice.
death mask staring right at him.
Will the real Shaco please stand up?
That's not going to send him back into a spiral of insanity, I'm sure, but I digress.
Helena will tell the guardsman that, passing a look to the performer behind, say, the Xenos is on our side for the time being.
Xenos! And you see him take his rifle and then like look around because he doesn't see the Spider-Man Harlequin as of right now. He's like, Where's the Xenos? I'm ready. The Emperor's holy flashlight shall defend me.
Trooper, you will fall in behind Sister Octavia and follow her every direction.
As you command, Inquisitor.
You can call me my lady.
Yes, my lady.
And then she will walk away.
And the guardsman awkwardly looks to Sister Octavia. As you command, Sister of Battle.
As Helena walks under the box that the performer is on, he will lean over and say, the Queen's courtiers grow.
Octavia is just like, fallen guardsmen, we are attempting to purge this ship.
Very good. Very good.
So starts moving. Actually, like standing over here, what is this? Only a single room by itself? Is there anything in there?
So here you are again, Octavia, with that big brain energy, asking the real questions. So the room itself appears to be... There are tables with notes, paperwork, and in fact, there's a tiny little glowing screen on one of the desks that looks like... I believe Helena mentioned this earlier. You were looking for a particular, I believe, instrument panel of some kind. What was the word you used? I'm trying to remember here.
Cogitator.
There it is. It's a cogitator. And there's also a hallway that leads a little bit north. And I'll go ahead and reveal that to you guys here in just a moment. And skadoosh. And that leads up this way. Let me zoom out for the people at home. And let me do one of these. And that just goes north for a ways. And there's another hallway and a door over there. And there's just some more passageways. But there's a tiny glowing little screen, a little cogitator.
That would be something that Octavia should be able to recognize as such an item, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inquisitor Helena, I found a cogitator.
And because you forgot it was there, next to the Inquisitor is hovering the little servo skull. And its little tendril comes out and just gently rubs your shoulder like it's feeling ignored.
Helena will tell the servo skull to scan Frank the guardsman and add him to the list of friendly biosignatures. And will then, having been told about Cogitator, will come into this room. And I don't think I have any skill in tech at all. Oh no, I do. I have one.
I
Excellent.
was about to say, you don't have skill in tech? Oh, Jesus, we're screwed.
I think I have skill in tech.
I have one in tech, but that's more
Nope, I don't.
Does Frank the Guardsman have skill in tech?
Frank the
Yes,
guardsman
Battle
is-
Sister, ma'am, sir. Ma'am, sir. Yes, I do.
may call me sister.
Yes, sister.
The
Battle.
performer
Ma'am.
will cartwheel himself into the room and say, the tome of knowledge has been found.
Okay.
Helena will say, "Must you always be so cryptic?" And then turn back straight to Frank and tell Frank to unlock the cogitator and provide us with access to the information held within.
As you command, m'lady? My queen? Wait, crap. What was the name again? Sir, ma'am.
The cogitator, Frank.
Yes, the cogitator. Aye. Hup, 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 hup. He hops over to the cogitator, and you see him, like, there's a little keyboard, and he types in password 1, and the cogitator is open for you to use.
Same coordination I have in my
Brilliant.
lunchbox.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the same password on my luggage.
It's a capital P, okay? So it's pretty secure.
The O is actually a 0.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been wild.
The P is it's P
Dead.
at 55W 0.
We're doing leet speak now. Oh man, this is getting wild. We're doing leet speak. That's a throwback. Oh man. All right. So the cogitator is open for you to investigate, and while much of the data is corrupted and lost, and this is just a periphery system access to the ship's main data core, you can start to piece together whatever you'd like to look for. So what kind of information are you looking for, Inquisitor Helena?
I want to find out, firstly, if there is a map of the place.
There is.
Excellent. I have a data slate, so I'm going to download the map to my data slate.
Mhm.
And then, if there's any other life signs on board,
Define life signs.
are they registered as Imperial citizens?
There are 12 Imperial citizens registered, and roughly, you watch the number go from 1,000 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it just keeps spiraling up. Unknown variables.
Okay. So it could be anywhere between 12 and 10,000 Imperial citizens, or poxwalkers.
Or Xenos, Tyranids. I mean, we don't know.
Fantastic.
We don't know. Asking the real questions and getting BS answers. The GM's
Yeah.
doing GM BS.
Is there another? Is there a way off this ship? Is there another salvageable, flight-worthy vessel?
Funny
elsewhere
you
on
should
this vessel?
ask. As you look at the map and you start to analyze the data, you notice that there is actually another hangar bay that's not too far from your present location. And in fact, based on the data map, it looks like it's right down the hallway, hang a right, and there's a bunch of salvageable and fully functional Valkyries inside of this hangar bay, which I'm sure is not crawling with anything bad, and it'll likely just be an easy jump right on out of here.
Easy.
Excellent. Well, Helena will just turn to the rest of the group. We have found our route off this place. The four of us, no, she'll say the three of us will not be able to purge this, and then casually forget that Frank's even there.
I
The
mean, he's a
performer-
guardsman. He's not.
No.
No. She's not forgetting that Frank is there. She's ignoring the performer.
The performer is going to do the thing like in cartoons that like slightly ominous people do, which is like go to one side of Frank, and then in the middle of his talking to him, he's gonna swap to the other side of his shoulder, and he's gonna be like, "So, Squire of the Phoenix, What is the Hierophant? What is his goals?
Is that to Frank?
Yeah.
I don't.
Frank,
What the hell are
ignore
you
them.
talking about?
Ignore
They're
them, Frank.
nonsense.
Ensure that you have a full las pack.
Sir, ma'am, yes. Salutes and walks over, and there's a little storage locker, and he takes out, like, he starts Ramboing up. You know, he's got, like, 2 rifles on his side, 2 las pistols. He starts, like, getting himself set up, grabs a couple of grenades, and starts to, like, you know, you see, takes a little bit of black paint, does this, gets his
He's
helmet
going to be
on.
like Slime Marbo
Yeah,
by
he's
the end
like,
of it.
he's like,
Oh,
all right,
is
I'm ready.
And then the performer gently pulls and puts a last pack in his pocket that didn't have one.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Xenos, creepy person.
And just a bow.
Oh, there are weird fuckers. Now I need everyone at this point to make an awareness check, because something interesting is about to happen.
You need awareness.
Oh no! I rolled a complication.
Your ears start bleeding. That's horrible. Not kidding. That's terrible.
5.
9.
So,
Ooh.
Helena, you are the one that hears it first, then Octavia, and finally the performer. And the complication of that performer is that you hear it too late to brace yourself, and maybe you didn't recognize the sound, but the 2 Imperials, including, well, the 3, including Frank the Guardsman, recognize the sound of the engine spooling up, and you brace yourselves for that inevitable push forward, the jarring movement as forward momentum begins
Of the shit.
of the ship itself.
Of this huge ass.
Of this huge ass ship. That is correct.
Space Hawks do not normally move.
And a few moments later, you start to hear alarm bells going off. System overload. Core to go supernova in 5 minutes. Abandoned ship, abandoned ship. And the sounds of minute and far-off explosions begin, and the whole vessel begins to rock. From over the Vox bead, you hear, "No, machine spirit, no, we must survive."
Hierophant has completed its work.
Can I access, like, an internal Vox? Like, there's the Vox speakers
Yeah,
around
absolutely. There's a little
Right.
thing that says "talk to people," and it's a little Vox thing right on the wall there.
Perfect. So Helena is going to go to the cogitator, press the little paperclip in the bottom corner, and activate the Vox, and say, "All Imperial citizens aboard this vessel. This is the voice of Helena Ashur, Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos. Make your way to," and then provides the rough location of where the salvageable spacefaring Valkyries were.
Mhm.
Make your way to this location for immediate evacuation. You have 3 minutes. Anybody left behind after 3 minutes will be left with the Emperor's grace.
And with that, I assume that all of you begin hurrying your way down the hallways towards
No,
the...
we're just gonna just skip lazily down that way.
Yeah, la 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 la. All right, so
That is what the performer does.
you all begin
He skips lazily quickly.
moving your way down the hallway, following the map that was provided by our glorious Frank and his knowledge of password. And I'm going to have you guys pivot yourselves over to right here. Right over yonder as you enter into the hangar bay. So you can move yourselves right down to that hallway. Let me grab Frank. Let me grab Servi the
And
Servo
the servo
Skull.
skull.
And Frank is ready. Rambo Frank, Frankbo, as we call him, is ready to go. And as you get to that last doorway,
Is his last name Castle?
you know what? Canonically, yes. Now it is, and that was a great
Frank
reference.
Castle.
Fantastic. The doorway opens, and what you see before you is it gives you hope. It gives you a feeling like maybe we're going to get out of this. But then your vision unfocuses, as though it is tunnel visioned, on the 3 salvageable Valkyries, and you see a disconcerting number of Tyranids. And when I say disconcerting, I mean that's a whole hell of a lot of Hormagaunts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag some Hormagaunts onto the screen, and you watch as they are like writhing and maneuvering around, and you start to count, and the number that you see is, well, there's probably like 200 in here, and we're gonna have to figure out a way to deal with this. But the good news is, I don't know if there is good news, but I've got
Frank.
I've got this cool combat music, so I guess I'll get that playing, and let's roll some initiative.
Ooh. That was bad.
Okay. Let's grab this up.
At this point,
click
I'm
this.
regretting not bringing some sort of ranged weapon.
I'm still not going first out of us. Okay.
All right, let's do some initiatives. We got Skadoosh, 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 and Skadoosh. And first up in the initiative is the performer.
Did you add Frank?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget
Let me
Frank.
get Frank in there. Sorry,
He's the key component of this whole thing.
Frank the Guardsman. He's ready to go. All right, gentlemen,
Frank.
let's get out.
All right. So the performer is going to do something that's unlikely to work, but you know what? I'm a psyker, and so we're going to try some psychic stuff. He's going to try and do the quicken power on all the allies. So let's see if I do it. Holy shit, I did it. 2, 3, 4. I hit the exact number I needed, which was 5.
Perfect.
So, Quicken, it changed the flow of time for yourself and your allies, making you seem supernaturally swift. While the power is sustained, you and all allies within 5 meters may make an additional movement on each of your turns. So we can all move twice.
Dave, we've gone mobile. There it is. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I love it.
And then some movement. So I have speed 8. Assuming 5-foot squares, that would be 45 feet for one movement. So I'm going to say run as all run like the wind, and then he's going to and as I start sprinting away, I say, I will get the chariot ready.
All right, and the performer, I believe, moves into where are you moving to? Fantastic, zipping around, doing her thing, love it. And next up is Helena.
So how far did we say? What was for distance?
I just did 5-foot squares per speed.
Okay.
So 60
what I'm
should
gonna-
probably be what about here?
Yeah.
If you click on your token and then move it around like you're moving, and then right click, then it will give you an arrow which you can use to measure while you have the token dragged.
Yeah, no, mine just takes me backwards.
Oh, it's click and hold, I think.
Left click and hold, and then as you're moving, you keep holding on the left click, and you start right clicking, and it'll start giving you it'll start giving you a whatchamacalls, it's like a movement, like a measuring stick.
Yeah, so
Look at him go.
okay. I finally got that down then.
Nice.
I'm going to get to there. And then ready myself for the inevitable Tyranid onslaught,
I love it.
because I can't actually get any further.
Octavia, you're next.
Oh, wait, no, before I do that, I'm going to also spend one of my wrath and regain some of my shock. And also, because I have Medicaid, I'm going to roll myself, trying to heal myself a little bit, because I completely forgot that I was nearly dead.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. You're
Because they're
probably
leads from the
fine.
front.
Yeah. Let's see. So, would these things count as a mob?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All of these are mobs.
Because I can do a spray shot versus mobs, apparently, where I can target a mob with a spray shot as a full round action. Making a ranged test attack against the mob is normal. If the attack is successful, you hit an additional number of individuals in the mob equal to the weapon's salvo value. So that'd just be, I'd be able to hit 4 instead of 3.
Way to live.
Yeah, because a mob is just a group of individuals, but they don't get treated as individuals. They get treated as one target.
Okay. And so from what I'm seeing, it's not saying anything about that. Let's see, that was what was it? Is that this? Varying mobs. Okay, so I'm just going to. I'll probably say that I was probably over here just so that I can have a more direct line of sight to these 4 that are on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And combat. What? Okay. So if I do that, and I believe this should be good. So no, wait. We don't know what their defense is. How much glory do we have? What are we at? 2, 3? Maybe.
At 4.
We're at 4. Are you guys against me draining it again?
I mean, take a couple, but I think
Okay, I'll take 2.
we're probably going to need some of this. There's lots of Tyranids.
Okay,
I mean,
so I'll
if you
take 2.
shoot, if you use your full action salvo thing to shoot at just a single mob, you're probably going to kill most or an entire mob.
Yeah. Rather than shooting at multiple mobs.
Well, I'm doing a spray shot versus mobs, which is said I add my salvo to the amount of targets that I hit. So I'm saying
Yeah,
I'm
but
going
that's
spray
not-
shot versus these three.
It's
These
not
four.
the number of mobs target. It's the number of dudes in the mob target.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not more tokens; it's more things in that
Yeah,
pile
each of these mobs is about
aliens.
15 Tyranids.
Oh, okay. So if I tried to, if I were to just turn around and spray at this one, right? I would have to be, it would be, I'm aiming at the mob, but like for every certain amount, then it would be less of the mob remaining as I kill them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for those Tyranids, you're highly likely, if you roll well, you can probably just eliminate all 15 of them. You've got a heavy bolter that's brilliant. You just spray the heavy bolter and kill a shitload of Tyranids, and then
Okay.
turn around to the other ones.
So I'll just do I'll just do a full auto then on it, right? Or is that not something I want to do?
I mean, yeah, because you have 2 more reloads available to you.
Mm-hmm.
So then once you do your special salvo action, you'll need to spend the action to reload before
Okay.
using it again.
Okay, so I guess it's gonna have to do because there's not much other choices. So I'm going to salvo. I'm going to full auto the closest Tyranid mob. I'm spending 2 glory. Because I'm within the first range, I get a +1 die.
Yep. I mean, what's your ballistic skill? Is it like 5 that you're going to roll?
Yeah. So this will be a total of 8.
Do 1 glory.
Do
Yeah.
1 glory?
We might need the
Okay.
glory to not die.
Okay. So just spending 1 glory, so I'm adding 2 dice total then.
Yeah.
And let's go. Ah!
So
That's
4.
4 with a complication.
Uh-oh. 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 Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. What's the battle plan here? What are we doing? You have any wrath to reroll?
We start off with what? 2 wrath only, so I'm out of wrath.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I feel like the GM should have been given away a bit of wrath for that.
You know what?
Killing of...
It was during that time when the stream failed and we fell offline. I don't know if you guys remember, but I feel like I gave you guys I think I gave each of you 2 wrath, I think is what had happened. Do you remember that? Because I think I remember.
Yeah, totally.
That.
That's
Yeah.
what happened.
Sorry, stream, you missed that part where we had a little bit of technical issues. The stream went down. I was like, hey guys, take some wrath because this is a hard fight and I support you as a game master and I don't want to see you fail. And they were like, oh no, don't do that, dear wolf. And I was like, no, I insist. Like, no, make it hard for us. I was like, no, I insist. So they finally accepted it. So here's where we stand. That's where we're at. That's what's going on.
To be fair, it was definitely mostly me insisting it because I have a hard time, if it's not hard for me,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I like it. It's good. It's good.
Okay, so I spend a wrath and I can re-roll all of those, or I just
Your
cancel out the
failures.
compensation.
You reroll
You
your
can't
failures.
re-roll the complication, though. Don't think.
I think you're correct. I don't think you can reroll the complication.
Yeah, you can re-roll any failures, but not complications. So you can re-roll 3.
Okay, so can I cancel out a complication with an exalted if I manage to get more?
No.
Okay, so complications are permanent.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy.
I'm so nervous.
Okay, so I'm just re-rolling 3.
Man, I wish that Terminator hadn't died terribly. A heavy flamer in this situation would have been super helpful.
It would have been nice
Yeah.
if we managed to recover his heavy flamer.
Yeah, but no one. Well, all right, you could have probably wielded it, but
What is
But I
the
think
what's the
it's-
heavy on it?
I
What's
think
the
heavy
heavy on a
flamer
heavy
would be
flamer?
like part of the Terminator armor, though. It's not like you can put it down. It's like
Yeah,
underside.
all right.
It's also
well, let's
heavy
see.
6.
Oh, I can lift
Yeah.
it then.
So you get one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You hit 5 defense.
Yeah. With a complication. So,
That hits.
I guess I roll damage then.
Yeah. So the attack is still successful.
Okay.
It's just
There's a
you
complication
succeeded
somewhere in here.
and something else.
Okay. So, I've got that. All right. 2 successes, so that's a 14, 16.
So here's the good news. You unload with your heavy bolter, and you watch this swarm, this mob of 17 Hormigons, like strange demented gazelle, just like lunging and leaping towards you, the claws just slithing and scratching on the metal of this hangar bay floor. And you unload, and just as it has been this entire encounter, just tat, Hormigons exploding, bits of carapace and hide being ripped apart, them just being just decimated, and you manage to mow down this entire mob. And as that last heavy bolter shot goes, you hear the telltale sign, something that you really don't want to hear in this moment, but your bolter jams, and the last round that you're firing explodes in the chamber, breaking and destroying your weapon.
Okay.
You could fix
No
it,
more heavy bolter.
but definitely not in the middle of combat, unfortunately.
Not anytime soon.
And with that, we pivot over to Hormigott Squad A, who is going to begin to lunge forward. But there is a sound that you all hear from the opposite side of the corridor. And if we recall back to an announcement with the paperclip Voxcaster that a certain Helena Ashur made on the other side, back in the hallway, to all remaining, I believe, Imperial citizens.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Imperial citizens.
Is that
yeah.
right? Is that what I heard?
Yep.
Because the doorways on the opposite side of this bay open up, and what you see is not one, not two,
Ah,
but
the
a
rest
horde
Frank's
of
platoon.
Franks. Platoon. And they say, "For the Emperor!" And a bunch of las flashlights start going off and mowing down Hormigons. So here is the added benefit of this situation. Half of this mob, so the whole right-hand side, is going to be distracted and engaged in combat with the rest of Frank's squad as they are chucking grenades, blasting las pistols, las rifles, and you know what? Even one of them has a frickin' bolt gun, and they're just rat-tat-tat-tat-tat with that thing. They are
Where did he get
going
that
to
bolter?
town. He picked it up. He found it. It's his. Finders keepers. And they're distracted. But the good news is the bad news is this Horrigon here is going to lunge forward, and the mob is going to now, I believe mobs can attack more than one person. Is that correct? Is that how that works, or am I wrong? Or do they just get one attack, Steve? Because I was trying to
No,
understand the
they
rules.
just get one.
Just the one attack. Okay, perfect. So they are actually going to lunge forward, ignoring Helena. They want that Sister of Battle for whatever reason. Maybe it's because it just mowed down all their friends. So they're going for Octavia, and they move over, pivoting over to the Sister of Battle. Go ahead. Yeah.
It says here a mob can split their attacks between multiple targets and do not incur a penalty about it.
Oh wow.
Ah.
Oh boy. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll some attacks, and we're gonna see how this goes. So I'm giving each of these mobs 4 attacks, just because I feel like 7 would be too many, or 15 would be too many, and that would be unfair. So we're just gonna give them 4 attacks. We're gonna keep it a little simple. I'm gonna try to not make this too unfair for you, even though the GM inside me is like TPK, TPK, TPK.
So
but I'm gonna stop listening to voices.
Actually, because I have the mob's rules right in front of me.
Go
A
for
mob makes a single test for
Okay.
the mob as though it were an individual threat. So you
Okay.
only make 1 test.
it. Okay.
But you add 1 bonus dice for every troop in the mod. in the mob.
Jesus.
So it's only
Christ.
one attack, but it's plus 15 bonus dice.
You know what? I accept this, and in advance, Octavia, I apologize. I know not what I do, and and that's where we're at. So we got weapon skill is 6 plus 21. Oh! That's a 21 is what I rolled. I rolled a 21. I don't know if everybody at home can
I
see
can't
it.
see this.
So this is rolled to GM. I'm going to re-roll this in public because I want everyone to see. So let's do this. 16. That's better. I actually rolled a 21 before. That's only a 16. What's your defense score?
Okay, so my defense is 7.
Oh, boy.
My resilience is 9. My armor value is 5.
Okay.
The only thing that matters is defense.
Okay.
So if the attack beats your defense, they hit you.
Okay, so they hit me.
Okay. Now, damage for a mob. You have the rules in front of you, Strom.
Yeah, it's just normal damage.
Normal damage. So they just get a bonus to attack when they're dealing normal damage. Is that right?
They get half bonus maximum. Oh, I'm sorry. They should only had 7 bonus dice.
Okay.
So they're still gonna hit regardless.
Still would be a hit. That's fine.
They don't get extra damage for being a mob.
Excellent. That's
They're
good.
just more likely to hit.
That is good for you guys. So this is going to be plus 1 extra damage die. That is only... Let me go ahead and roll this here really quick. That is only a grand total of 8 damage to the Sister of Battle. How are we looking?
The damage did not break my resilience.
Which means it does no
So
damage?
I don't know.
I think
'Cause my
1 is the
resilience is
minimum
9.
number of damage. Right, Steve? You have to take at least
Sorry.
1 point of damage.
Roll damage, infect wounds, deduct the AP. Is there any AP?
The AP on their weapons are 1.
So then you
Yeah,
have
so you-
effectively resilient 8.
Because they have rending.
So your resilience of 8 then.
Okay,
You
and
just deduct
that,
your. And
and
what
they
was their
did.
damage?
they did. What is it? Was it 8 or was it
It was 8
1?
damage.
So
So you
their
just take one.
resilience. So I just take 1 damage. Period.
Perfect.
Well, you can then use roll a determination on the combat tab of your sheet and shift that into shock. It should be on your combat page.
So just roll determination
right.
specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just
Got
take
2
one shot.
That's perfect.
So I take
So you
1
shrug
shot.
off the attack. That is absolutely fantastic. We're making headway here. We are making some friggin' headway here. I love it. 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 All right, perfect. So they are swarming you. You're smashing them off. They're not managing to break your armor, and it's really just some stress damage that you're taking in this moment, and you're surviving. You are surviving. This Hormigaunt on the other side here, they are swarming into the hallways. You hear the guardsmen, you hear the sound of flashlights going off. You hear the sound of the bolt gun. You hear grenades going off. You hear guardsmen screaming. You hear Hormigaunt screaming. It is pure chaos, blood, and gore over on the other side. This one here sees an opportunity to go for this fanciful dancing man, and they are going to go ahead and make an attack roll on the fanciful dancing man, which is going to be a 9.
Oh, that absolutely hits.
Okay, fantastic. And that will be 7 plus an additional 0, nothing.
All right, that doesn't beat my resilience.
Perfect.
So I'll take
Now,
1.
what's rending do? What is the benefit of rending?
So when you shift a 6 to deal to get either glory or for extra damage, then you gain armor penetration equal to the rending number.
How much did I beat your defense score by?
You could shift 2.
I could shift 2? So I'm going to
Yeah, and
shift
you would
that
still-
2. I would shift that 2 damage to you then.
Yeah, so then you would get 2 extra damage dice to
Okay.
roll for extra
I'm
damage.
going to do that. Get it.
Wow. Get wrecked.
Mm.
So it's 10 damage?
It's 10 damage.
Yeah.
Alright, so that brings my resilience of 9, so I still take 1 damage.
I love it.
So Steve,
Death
how
by
does
1,000 Hormigaunt cuts.
determination is based on what?
We have it as our as our bit right on the rolls area.
Yeah, but I could use determination via agility instead of whatever it normally is.
Oh.
And I don't remember how it is determined. Yeah.
How do we determine determination?
Yeah.
How do we determine determination? Oh, equal to your toughness rating.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll use agility, which is better than my toughness.
Nice.
Yeah, so I shifted 1 damage into shock.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Last up is this Hormigont swarm off to the other side. And then we have Frank the Guardsman. And like a... How do I put this? Like the Spartans of old, you see a man... You see a boy that has become a man charge out into the hallway, from the hallway into the bay. Both las rifles in his hands. He lets them sling under his shoulders, grabbing 2 grenades and flinging them forward into the Hormigont squad. There are 2 concussive blasts in the center as he goes back, bringing up both las guns, and says, "For the Emperor, you sons of bitches!" And Frank starts to mow down half of that Hormigont squad there, just mowing them down, explosions, and it's just enough to get them off of Octavia and off of the Inquisitor. But they are now focused on Frank, who is just chucking grenades, las guns going off. You watch Hormigons are going down. There's explosions, bits of shrapnel, bone, claws, faces, carapaces. It's absolute freaking chaos. This Hormigont squad over there is attacking the rest of Frank's squad. This Hormigont squad here is going to just double down. You are now surrounded completely. Completely, my man. Over there. And that is a 9, which I believe is a hit again on you.
Yep.
And I'm going to shift... What was your defense score?
5.
So I'm going to shift 2 of that over to damage. So I'm going to roll 3 damage dice then. And let's... I can only shift 2, right?
So, I'm going to use, as a reflexive action, the full defense action.
Okay.
Which increases my defense by 1 and +1 for every icon I roll in an initiative test.
I love it. Go for it.
So, initiative. Roll.
That's another one.
That's an icon. That's an exalted icon.
I don't think I get 2, just the 1. But I'm gonna spend my... I don't think there's a wrath dice for this.
No, it should just be a standard.
Yeah. So I'm gonna spend one of my 3 remaining wrath to reroll the failures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Submit. All right.
There it is.
My defense is 10.
There it
Yes.
is. So similar to what we described when you were fighting the initial terror, the giant monster at the beginning of the encounter
It does
here,
count.
you
Yeah.
start to
That's
face
just 2 icons.
in and out of existence, and the Hormigons leap, you're not there. The Hormigont leaps, you're not there. You're just dipping, diving, docking, and weaving. If you can dodge a Hormigont, you can dodge a ball. But anyway, I digress, and it's just that's what's going on here, and it is fantastic. And they don't even touch you. You are just moving, and in fact, with that roll, you were able to slip past them and actually get into the Valkyrie so you can begin preparations to get that shit going. All right, how's that sound? How does that sound? I like it. I personally like it. All right. Next up is this Hormigont squad over yonder, still engaged on the other side with the Frank squadron, and we are back to the top of the round with the Performer. Now, you can be inside, you can stay where you're at, you could move inside the ship and begin preparations. What do you want to do?
So unfortunately, the way the full defense action works is if you use it as a reflexive action, I can't do actions in my turn. I can't do combat or movement actions or simple actions. So I will be in the Valkyrie. I will be on top of the Valkyrie.
I love it. You're
Yes.
on top of the Valkyrie doing your thing. Helena, you're up next.
So do we say that Frank is shooting at half of these lot?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to. Am I in combat with them?
Yes.
Or are they in? Okay. So she will. Yeah, I'm gonna start attacking these and shouting. Yeah. He who lives for nothing is nothing. He who dies for the Emperor. And
Let's go.
start rolling some attacks on these guys.
Oh, nice. Oh, Jesus. What?
Damn! Ooh! You getting sassy.
That's only 7 though. What did we
Yeah,
say
but
that
for-
we?
Every icon that you beat their defense, you kill an extra person or an extra
Their
Hormigaunt.
defense is only 3.
Okay. Well,
That's
so I can
7. So
shift one of. I'm going to shift one of those. If we only need 3, then I'll shift that 6 into the glory pool. And
So
then,
then, yeah, you would hit 5, so you would kill 3 Hormigaunts. I mean, it's probably better to keep the Exalted Icon and kill 2 more.
okay. Well, we'll do that.
So,
Then.
is that it then for them? Because
So here's what
that's-
happens. The Inquisitor, I imagine, and you can, and please, if you want to flavor this a different way, go for it. But I imagine you bring the hammer up, and it's not really a leap. It is just a simple, steady
Oh yeah, she's
practice
just
march.
running. She's just walking forward. Smash.
smash, smash,
side.
smash, and then a final bring up into the center of the swarm, the mob, and a boom, and there's that crackle of energy, and you can hear the floor of the bay dent in, and the electricity emanates through the floor up into the remaining Hormigons, and they are electrified. You can see their skeletons, almost Looney Tunes style, as they are just scorched to just smoking ruins and dead Hormigons, and they all collapse to the ground. And Frank is, ah! Hey, it's my squad! I'm coming, buddies! And he's gonna start running off towards his squad mates on the other side of the hangar bay. And next up,
As he starts
Yeah.
legging it away, Helena will say to Octavia, "Only in death does duty end." As Frank charges across the room to go and join his fellow guardsmen in glorious death for the Emperor. We are going to head to the Valkyrie and escape.
Oh boy.
what a guy. And I believe Helena. Then, do you have a move action still that you can take, or is that?
We've still got it. We still got our extra action.
Oh, actually, yeah, wait. How does a sustain power work? Because I did take damage.
Oh, you need to roll
Sustaining.
You would need to roll
sh-
effectively another psychic test to see if you sustain it.
Equal to total wounds and shock suffered. Okay.
Yeah.
1.
1.
Actually, it was 2. I forgot about the AP minus 1.
But you still oh yeah, so you okay.
So willpower. Is it psychic and wait, what? Willpower test. This is
Yeah,
going
psychic
to
mastery, willpower.
Nope, no more double actions. Double movement.
Okay.
Perfect. Next up is Octavia.
Okay then.
Octavia, make an awareness check, please.
Okie dokie. Um,
I'd like to note that your limbs do not feel heavier. The world around you seems to have gotten faster.
okay. Question: what is a passive awareness?
Your innate ability to just see things that are trying to hide but not very well. So
Okay.
if something was trying to stealth past you but you had a passive awareness of 6 and they only had a stealth skill of 4, you'd just be able to notice them.
Okay, so that would likely not apply here because.
No.
Okay, so it's 2.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, so for the record, I don't know if this will change anything, but my passive awareness is apparently an 8.
All right. Well, your passive awareness, you would notice that Servi, the servo skull, just very quietly hovered past you and went into the ramp of this Valkyrie in the center and flew inside.
Okay. Actually, here's a question. You said that all of these Valkyries look like they're in good shape, right?
The 3 that are docked, the one in the center looks pretty beat up. The one that
Okay.
Servi just flew into.
What are the weapons on a Valkyrie?
Phenomenal
like-
question.
I think it's
they're-
got a pair of twin link las cannons. Let me see, because I just bought the.
I think they
the
have
latest
heavy
rule
bolters.
book.
I think.
I shall tell you because I
Rip
bought
one
the latest.
off.
Well, the latest rule book that they brought out has rules for all of the vehicle fighting and everything else. What do they have? They have 2 heavy bolters, a multi-laser or las cannon, and 2 Hellstrike missiles or 2 multiple rocket launching systems.
They kick. That's all I'm saying is they kick.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So where would that heavy bolter be?
Close enough for you to run up and
Dude.
rip it off the wing.
2 door-mounted heavy bolters. So like,
Door-mounted heavy bolters.
Yeah.
So, if
like
I
like the
walked,
old,
so if
yeah.
I moved over here, I could rip one off.
I would
Rip
be
one out.
offended if you didn't.
So I can do that, right?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, go for
Okay.
it, man.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say I rip it off of this side.
Done.
And
So there are like open doors, like those old helicopters you'd see from like Vietnam.
oh,
or
so I
something.
basically can just
you can
stand
just
there.
Oh, yeah,
sprint
yeah.
through,
They're-
or
they're
you can
like
just
a
run
human.
up to it, grab onto it. It's like mounted on like that one of the mechanical arms, similar to like a boom mic, and you can
Mhm.
just maneuver it from there. And in fact, because it's stationary and you have like support, I'm gonna give you an extra 2 attack dice as you make attacks with this thing because it's a little bit more stable.
Shit. 2 extra attack die.
You're gosh darn tootin'.
Okay. So because I moved, I can't take a full attack, right?
I mean,
Is that the rules on that one? Or
yeah,
can I
because
just
you
take?
used your movement action.
Okay,
Then
so
you would.
I would not be able to take that full attack, right?
But if it
You can
counts as
just-
being braced, it ignores the heavy trait, which still allows you to move.
He already ignores the heavy trait, I think, for.
Yeah,
having
because
this
I already
automatic.
have the
Okay.
strength to do it. So
You can do a normal shoot action.
okay. Let's go with spend a glory, or actually no, we're at what 3, 2?
3.
All right. So I will spend 1 glory to bump me up.
Yep.
And let's say that I'm specifically aiming for one of these 2. I guess whichever one would come first in the initiative. Doesn't matter which, just I'm aiming in this general direction. Probably at this one just to avoid possibly hitting Frank. Okay, so that is 3. So I can spend a wrath and re-roll all of that,
you could.
which I mean I've done pretty dang good with.
I mean, your luck on rerolls is the stuff of legends. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, do we want to tempt fate? I think we should.
Okay, I'm tempting fate. So that is
5 you should reroll.
6.
Or
1, 2, 3, 4,
Six.
5,
Six,
6.
Hey.
There it is.
Nice.
There it is.
Okay, so that is
7. You only need a 3, which means you've got some options here.
Means
So,
you killed
so I've-
5 Hormagaunts out of the whatever's left.
okay.
So,
Can I shift anything
Go ahead.
into?
So if you shift an exalted icon, you're going to kill 2 less Hormagaunts.
Okay. So no matter what, like even if I were to try to shift it into like an
Because it
extra damage die or
reduces. So the damage doesn't matter as long as you deal enough damage to kill 1 Hormagaunt.
something?
It's the attack roll that determines how many you hit, not the
Okay.
damage. So if you reduce your attack roll, you reduce the number of things you hit.
Okay. So then I'll just go with having killed 5.
So as the battle sister, Octavia, sister of battle, rushes forward, so there's the 2 open doors of this Valkyrie, you leap in and you see that the servo skull, has connected himself to the control panel, and you hear the engines of this Valkyrie starting to boot up, and you can feel the heat, and the ship levitates ever so slightly off the ground, but lurches. But as it lurches, you're firing out the window like a mad person, and you just start mowing down Hormagaunts, and you can hear the guns of the ship starting to spool up as well, and you are now mobile in the air with the servo skull, and I think you're about to rain down some hellfire on these Hormagaunts, which is fantastic. And next up in the initiative, I believe, is the Hormagaunts, which on this side, they have moved into the hallways. They are currently swarming the guardsmen in there. It doesn't sound like it's going well for those guardmen. They don't have the toughness that you do. This Hormagaunt squad up over yonder, next to the performer, is going to go ahead and make its attack roll on our performer, and that will be 15, 12.
Oof.
12.
Ooh.
Hard yikes.
They get an amount of bonus dice equal to half the number of dudes in them.
Yep.
Not the number of dudes in them.
Yep.
So then, it's just a mob of 30 now?
No. So they get 7 base plus. No, they have 8 base plus
They have-
7.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they have weapon skill.
Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts have weapon skill 8. Good
Yeah.
lord.
yes.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna eat a hit.
Okay. And then they're going to roll some damage. So that's going to be 7 plus. I'm going to shift a couple over. So I'm going to roll plus an extra 3. 8 damage. That's it.
8 damage. So I will determine to try and shift it to shock. If I can find where that button is. There it is. I do.
Excellent.
So that 1 damage.
yes, you
goes to
do.
shock.
Frank the guardsman rushes forward. You hear the telltale click, Octavia, of a las gun running out of ammo. Toot, 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 click, click, click. Toot, 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 click, click, click. And you watch as the Frankerer takes 2 grenades, pops that, you hear that ting as they pops off, and he goes, "Ah!" and just suicide bombs into the middle of the Hormagaunts, and you hear this kaboom. And you watch
Good
as
job,
an
Frank.
the 2 Hormagaunt squads here are eviscerated. And from behind them, you see the remaining guardsmen rush into the bay and start preparing this Valkyrie for flight and the inevitable exit from the mission from here. And that's what
As Frank dies, the Inquisitor will say, "It is by the manner of our death that we are judged by the Emperor."
heroic
Here in your comm
sacrifice.
beads.
Heroic sacrifice. There we go. He helped his squad get out, and that's how they lived. All
You
right,
hear in your comm beads
and
that the performer says, the Squire of the Phoenix has joined its master.
we have this Hormagaunt squad here is going to go ahead and make an attack roll on you as well. 11 to hit you.
Hey, that's just as good.
All right, and that is 8 damage.
Oh no! Let's roll determination.
Again.
Do I get a 1?
Yeah.
I got a 1. All right. I am almost halfway done with my shock.
Were your wounds looking?
I'm still perfectly healthy.
Okay.
Okay. Since it is my turn, can I pop into this Valkyrie, spool it up?
100%.
I pop into this Valkyrie and I spool it up.
And the entrance of a thematic end, here is what we see. We watch as the Valkyrie spools up. A number of the Hormagaunts attempting to make their way inside of the performer's vessel are burned away by the fire of the engine. You activate the weapons and start mowing down Hormagaunts. Simultaneously, the Valkyrie that Servi, the Servo Skull, is driving pivots, allowing Octavia some time to mow down the remaining Hormagaunts trying to funnel their way back out of the hallways that the guardsmen were in. The guardsman Valkyrie lifts up off the ground, making its way towards the exit of this docking bay, and as the Valkyrie that Octavia is in begins to lose altitude because its engines are damaged, Servi, the Servo Skull, turns around, does a little bobble, turns forward, and then pivots the ship, giving you a chance to jump onto the performer's Valkyrie. I imagine that Helena quickly makes her way over to that Valkyrie. The three of you board the vessel, and as the ship, the Space Hulk behind you, goes critical, you see a bright flash of light, energy, and debris as the entire ship explodes, and the two Valkyries containing the guardsmen of Frank's squad and our three glorious heroes of Wrath of Glory fly off into the darkness that is space. And that, my friends, is the end of our adventure. Good job.
Oh my god.
Woo!
Hail Mary after Hail Mary.
I honestly thought that you guys were gonna die multiple times in that, and the frickin' rerolls, Octavia, were insane. The performer just dancing around, dodging hits like a mofo.
I didn't take
that
any hits. I took one hit.
That blast with the hammer on the end there, giving Frank a chance to heroically sacrifice himself to take out the enemy mobs for his squad to get out,
Frank.
was glorious. He you know what?
Did
He died as
I
a
got a
guardsman.
question? I got a question. Did his dog tags land on one of his friends so that they could take it out?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Frank Castle, the guardsman.
Frank Castle, Frank the guardsman. Jeremiah. I don't know. It's good. But gentlemen, this is I know I didn't play the system
awesome.
100% to the rules. I think we were just trying to have a little craziness here, but I want to say a special thanks to Strom, to Steve, and to Umbral for coming together with me here today to tell a ridiculously crazy story and to blow up a Space Hulk, because who doesn't like doing that? That's fun. Giant, massive, ancient warships. That's sweet. Special thanks truly to Steve for helping guide me through these rules. I like this system. I've really started to come to an appreciation as a storyteller for the systems that rely upon successes. It reminds me, and you had made this mention, Steve, of kind of that Fallout or the Star Trek Adventures system where, we're rolling against a DC, we're trying to get certain numbers on the dice to represent those successes, is super cool and very dynamic. And I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Warhammer universe. I'm not as adept at it as you are. You know a hell of a lot, and it was just really nice to have you here. And the same thing for you, Strom, and also Umbral. Obviously, you know some stuff. I mean, you had that freaking thing there, which was fantastic. It was amazing. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we end the stream and wish the viewers a great rest of the day?
No, it was great fun.
Awesome.
That
Yeah,
was
well,
it was awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you for hosting.
My absolute
If you do
pleasure.
another game, please
Umbral,
let me
I
join.
gotta get you into a longer game, man. I love playing with you. You always bring this chaotic energy that I love, and your dedication to your characters, getting into it, and your dice luck is the stuff of just insanity. I don't know how you freaking do it, man. I was like, well, that wasn't good. Let me go ahead and reroll. So # no big deal. But
Yeah.
we will be back. I will be back with Strom and Steve here next weekend for session 2 of MechWarrior Destiny Salvage Destiny. As I mentioned earlier, one of our players is currently at PAX dressed as a MechWarrior. He built this sweet MechWarrior cosplay. A bunch of people are taking selfies with him. He's having a riot, and I told him, obviously, go have fun, because at the end of the day, hey, we just want to be here and have a little time, and that's all good. So with that being said, as I always say, be well, be safe. I personally will be back tonight in about 3 hours for the next session of Rise of the Rune Lords. I believe it's session 9. I don't know. We've been playing a bunch, but they're investigating some murders in Sandpoint. So definitely, if you're feeling some Pathfinder 1E, stop in, support us. Also tonight, I believe Strom, you are doing some streaming as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. When is that starting?
Yeah, I am. 7 p.m. I'm gonna stream Legend of Dragoon, which is an old, basically unheard of JRPG. So it's from the PlayStation 1. Just been trying to beat this game for the last like 15 years,
That
and
is
so
awesome.
if I stream it, I have to beat it, right?
Yes, completionist
Yeah.
thing. If you want to go ahead, please go ahead and post your Twitch link in the chat so that everyone that wants to watch that can go ahead and jump in. And everyone else, please be well, be safe, and remember, we're all out here having fun, playing games with our friends. So as I always say, happy gaming, be well, be safe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.